All right. All right. Oh yeah. Going to space. You okay? We're gonna take this one and we're gonna share it into. Can I share it into the space? No, I can't share it into the space. Okay, that stinks. That's okay. That's okay. So I'll do this here. This is what I want everybody to see. It's gonna be for later. All right, cool. You get out of here, and then we got this going on. Okay. And to test this shit out here. All right. Welcome to Hump Day, actually. Welcome to Hump Day. We are going to be talking about a good amount of things today. Some things controversial, other things just regular console buffoonery. Uh, so let's get this started. I need to have some music here. You know what I mean? This, kind of Kevin Samuels to place up in a little bit though. That's what I need to have. But regardless of the matter, we want to cover this as quickly as possible here because I have gaming that I want to do today. And since I don't have to go to work tomorrow, I'm going to fully exploit that. Devil Shooter, what's going on, bro? So let's begin on what has happened. What was it, yesterday or the day before? And I know it kind of seems like I don't have that type of energy. You know what I mean? That I should seemingly I don't care about the situation that happened on in Texas with the school and the automatic ammo. I can't really say it on YouTube, but rest assured, um, one of the things that people were saying is that video games is creating these people, um, and they're making it more alive. It's making people actually decide to do more um, of these violent acts. They're learning that shit. Yo, what's going on, Jace? They're learning this shit online, playing video games with the shootings and things of that nature. So I just kind of wanted to uh, draw attention. I shouldn't have even using that word. I gotta say pew pew when I want to say you know type stuff before YouTube like dings me. Video games has been always the culprit of these violent pew pew acts. They've been always the culprit of the violent pew pew acts. And I feel like, I wanted to kind of address it. There's a good amount of people online, especially on Twitter or any kind of social media, where they say we need to do stuff about it. We need to add more restrictions to the pew pews. You know what I mean? It is absolutely sad. But I think that people don't understand that just adding more restrictions to the pew pew isn't the answer. Because look at it like this, right? We've had so many years that we didn't have as many pew pew restrictions. And this shit didn't happen as frequently. That's, yeah, the one that happened in Texas. Here, I want to start it off by just, story time. This is what the story time portion of this is. But yeah, people think that just restricting or taking away pew pew is going to fix everything. They think that conservatives also, it's so stupid. It gets relegated if you're in the U.S. to Biden and and Trump for some reason. That this dude is not even a president anymore. What does he have to do with anything of this shit? So it's like anytime someone considers somebody a Republican, they get lumped into Trump or whatever the case is. And to be honest with you, not many people utilize, or they're it's common sense. You never want to have in any country the government policing things that deeply. That's number one. Number two, you don't want to restrict your right to defend yourself. It's like on one side of it, on the fence, you have people that are definitely afraid of cops, especially if they are, black or African American, and they have no way of defending themselves. So what do you say to them? On the other end, you have situations where, there's just a lot of scapegoating. Oh, you didn't want to wear a mask, but you want, now you want to sit there and do that. It's too much. So, um, did a great video on this. Essentially, there's no evidence, which we all knew. Right, there is something else going on in this world. That's the situation. People don't understand that there is America is sick. They are really sick. And it has nothing to do with video games. These frequent pew pew acts is the result, I would say, of this of being the lockdowns. That's one particular issue. People have lost their fucking minds. They're not wrapped too tight anymore. The average person, it, the lockdowns created such a massive issue with everyone, and the ramifications and the ripple effects of this is going to be it's going to be so long term. We're coming out of a pandemic, yes, but the damage that it has done in a 2-year period has made people unstable. That's what's happening right now. It's not a video game. We have a lot of video games. We had a lot of movies. If it wasn't video games, there was fucking movies that were, that were violent, you know. But I will say this, and I'll move on to this. I'll move on from this, and we can go on to the gaming topics, right? I will say this. People have become extremely desensitized to what's happening. Extremely desensitized it's happening so frequently. And even if you take away the pew pew X, people don't have a problem with seeing murders, straight up murders on Twitter. People are just posting stuff of people getting shot up and killed. What do you think that's doing to your psyche? What do you think that's doing? Do you believe that you can just go through this and be unscathed? Do you really think that's a thing? That's the problem. There's more and more people that thinks this crap is absolutely funny. And they share it and they retweet it for likes and whatever the case is. And no one thinks about the ramifications. I don't even want to look at a lot of the stuff that's on Twitter. Some of the stuff I still see when I close my eyes. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. There's rappers that get killed every year. These young rappers. There's gang violence. There's Chicago. straight up, straight up Chicago. So that's a big fucking problem. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be a part of it. It's not as easy as people would say, oh, just take away the pew pew laws. You act like they can't get that shit illegally. Do you really think that, okay, they could fucking do all sorts of things. They can go on the dark web and get these fucking weapons. The hell does it matter? And then they were like, well, make the laws more stringent. If you break the laws for weapons. These guys are on self-termination mode. Even if you made the laws more stringent, like if it was heavier punishment, they're dead already. They don't care what you do to them. They're dead. When that guy in Texas decided to do what he did, he pewed his grandma in her head. then said he was going to shoot up a school. He already made up his mind he didn't want to live any longer. That was it. What law could fix that? There is something deeply wrong with the people nowadays. I feel like the young people, which is a lot of young people kind of coming out here around millennials and zennials, that just don't care about life. They don't have a problem with seeing somebody just die on Twitter or die on Facebook. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of deaths on Facebook. People are streaming this live on Instagram, and people just get shot up. And people are like, "Oh snap, that's messed up. That's crazy," and then retweet it and share it. You don't think that has anything to do with it? So my all net of this shit is what's happening now is the result of what happened with the pandemic and the lockdowns and just where everything is going. People are so lost that they think that the digital world is real. They live in the digital world so deeply that they're not even paying attention to what's really happening outside. You're so quick to go on your phone and retweet something or post something. And I see all these famous people and these blue check marks talking about abortions. The fuck does that have anything to do with a gun law? Oh, you want to control a womb, but you don't want to control weapons. That it's these straw man arguments is so effing ridiculous. I am absolutely tired of it. I'm tired of the white knighting. That's very irritating. I'm tired of people going online and social justicing. That shit is fucking irritating. You going on Twitter or social media at all doesn't fix the fucking problem. You making polls doesn't fix the fucking problem. I mean, let's be honest. You're doing this shit for engagement on social media. The hell is your polls going to do? And let's take it back. Let's rewind it a little bit before we go on to the actual topics. There, the homie said he was bullied. And you look at how people conduct themselves online. You know, like for instance, the Kevin Samuel thing. The guy died, right? And because people didn't like his opinion, they were like straight up, "I hope you die. Rest in piss. Rest in piss." What's going on, Fado? That's what they were saying about this dude. So it's just a culmination of a whole bunch of stuff. People have no empathy whatsoever, unless it hits them home. Unless it hits home with them. That's when you care. Because you sure as hell don't give a hell if it's somewhere else away from you. Or if it doesn't impact you. If you don't have any children in this particular case. If you're not sending your kids to school, that's the only time you don't give a fuck. If these people don't have kids, they don't care. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I wanted to kind of express that and move on. And I'm glad, to be honest with you, because I'm in Twitter right now, simultaneously streaming. I am glad. Let me just put it that way, that I don't got people in this space right now, because really all I want to do is kind of like record the shit and keep it moving. So let's go on to our news and leaks and everything the hell else, right? So we got some information on PlayStation Plus tier system, right? We got that shit going on. And before I go into the outrage that came out of nowhere, let's talk about, actually, no, let me talk about the outrage first. So apparently people can't read, because what Sony ended up doing is saying that if you have PlayStation Now, your services will automatically, right? Your services automatically will go to the premium, PlayStation Plus premium service. I thought that was very clear when I saw it. And then all of a sudden I saw people start to stack the services. And I didn't really understand what was going on with that. I was like, okay, maybe they like the service, I don't know what the hell it is, but they were stacking a mess out of that. They go ahead and stack that shit. somebody stacked like 20 years of PlayStation Plus, and then all of a sudden you have all these news outlets. And remember, anything PlayStation, and if it's negative, people are so willing to just run with this shit. They want so badly to report some negative shit on PlayStation, and it gets the clicks. It's not like all the bad guys PlayStation at all. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that it gets the views right now, man. So everybody was like, "Oh, Sony is stopping you from stacking." Well, stacking is something that is cheating the system. And as somebody that's creating a service, they don't want their shit. They don't want to be cheated out their own fucking money. Regardless of the matter, no one, including these fucking journalists, they didn't even do their due diligence. They didn't do their due diligence at all. They didn't read shit. No, you don't have to join the space, man. Like I said before, man. If you want to, then sure, leave another message. I think people went in and saw the whole talking about the pew pew X. I feel like people saw that shit and was like, I don't want to talk about it, or I don't like what he was saying, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily. I don't really care. I be wanting to low key, high key, kind of just wanting to put shit out and just have my thoughts out there, and then wrap it the hell up. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't bother me. Like I'm focused when I'm like this. I could talk to you guys just the same by you being in there. So that doesn't affect me. But people weren't reading. They weren't reading um what the terms were when it came to the tier service for PlayStation Plus. It clearly said, or I should say this: people believe that they could buy PlayStation Plus, and the regular Plus was just going to convert over to premium for God knows what reason. It didn't even like. I was like, what the fuck? Where are you getting this information from? So people was literally saying this wild ass shit. It was funny to me that people really went out and said this shit. Regardless of the matter, it looks like Sony fixed it. And even in the process of them fixing it, people were like, oh, you only fixed it because there was a backlash. That's the only reason. You don't fucking know. To take two services and combine them, I don't think is really easy. I don't think that's easy. I don't think that's really easy to do. So there must have been some sort of mixed up or whatever the case is. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because they already legally put in there that no, they weren't going to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? You had to have the people that have PlayStation now was going to get that upgrade. You know what I'm saying? So there was that. And I mean honestly, oh shit, you're here. Hold on, I see you, Fatal. So honestly, that's what was going on with that one. And it's just funny. But when I'm looking at everything when it comes to the PlayStation tier system, the PlayStation Plus tier system, I'm kind of curious as to what a person that likes the opposing services would think about PlayStation PlayStation Now or PlayStation tier system. Vader, what's going on with you, bro?
What up, man?
Not much, not much, man. Let's get my shit in line here.
Here you talking about the PS Plus tier shit?
Yeah, I haven't really said anything about the PlayStation Plus tier. To be clear, I haven't said anything about it. I haven't had a need to say anything about it because you already know my stance on this. I don't really like subscription services as a whole. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this wasn't tickling my fancy when they did it. The only thing that I've actually was interested in is the backwards compatibility, and it's funny because Sony actually had when they the road to PlayStation 5 or something like that. When they had that conference or whatever you want to call it, they showed the chip of the PlayStation 5, and then they showed the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Well, they show spaces that those consoles can go into. And it looks like what they're doing is something that, is coming to fruition. But looking at the services, Fado, what do you have to say about this? What do you think
about the PS Plus
Yeah,
tier shit?
about the offerings?
I I'm with you. The only thing I care about is the backwards compatibility crap. Because most of the games that are on there right now, at least from the first party wise, I already own the vast majority of them, outside from maybe like 2 or 3 titles. So the PS1 and PS2 and PSP games is the main reason why I want to fucking upgrade. Well, not upgrade, but get into X because I don't pay for Plus.
Right. It looks like they're really trying to make people pay for it. Have incentive to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's to me,
right.
Because I wasn't really interested in the current library of PlayStation. What do you call it? PlayStation Plus games that they do every month. I wasn't really. I didn't care about that. I really didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't really tickle my fancy. And I mean, honestly, I don't really care too much about subscription services as it stands, right? So there's that. But there are some news leaking out. And let's see here. What did he say here? Andy Robinson, a blue check mark, right? Says PlayStation says half its annual releases will be on PC and mobile by 2025.
Wait, a check mark motherfucker said that shit?
I don't know who Andy Robinson is.
Hold on. Let me find out who the fuck this motherfucker is. You said Andy Robinson?
If I look at him, it says here that he is a writer for some sort of game magazine, CVG Computer.
Oh, he's an editor for VGC News.
I don't understand, right? Here's the thing, right? See, people don't get this, right? And I'll talk about that later. So let's talk about the offerings of PlayStation of the PlayStation service. I don't know, and I guess Sony could have, kind of had a better emulator. But call me a fanboy, man. I was pretty impressed with the emulator that they have. It was very clean. I mean, you still got the warpy textures for PlayStation 1, but it was very clean. People were upset about the PAL version, which I'm pretty sure that could be updated with a patch or anything like that. So I'm not really concerned about that aspect of it. But I'm pleased with the emulation. I'm pleased that they added the little extra features, you know what I'm saying, that was in there. So I don't know. For me, road to PS5. Yep. For me, I am pleased with it. It's something about and this is not about a PlayStation thing. I actually don't like when emulated games gets too emulated. You know what I'm saying? Where it loses its charm, or you know what I mean? It looks different because the emulator is doing all sorts of extra stuff on there. That's me personally. Yeah, I see that here. The road to PlayStation 5. So with that being said, I'm actually glad too that there's no trophy. There's no mandatory trophy. Um, there's no mandatory trophy requests from the developer from Sony. Sony is not it's not mandating the trophy support. You know what I'm saying? If you want to put it on there, that's fine. They have technology that adds the trophy support in there, which I'm okay with because it allows for more games to come out quicker. You know what I'm saying? And since it's built into that premium package, we're not waiting for for the developer to be reimbursed. You know what I'm saying? So that was one thing that because they're looking like no one's going to buy these old ass games, but if it was in a subscription service like a Game Pass or a PlayStation Plus, then more people would actually play and use it. That's how I look at it. But what is your take on all of this?
Ah, man, freaking the classic games are definitely going to be bought by a lot of people, man. I mean, they did during the PS3, they did during the PSP and the Vita era and whatnot. I don't see why that's going to change now. Because some people are going to want to own that shit. And plus, if you already own it from previous, like, console wise or handheld wise, you get access to it for free anyways, regardless if you have an online subscription or not. Which I think is cool. You know what I mean? I like that. But I mean, as far as the games that are going up there right now, I mean, I wish there was more, but hey, I mean, it's a start. I do like the fact that freaking Wild Arms and Hot Shots Golf is going to have trophy support. And same with Siphon Filter. So I'm really happy about that. But as far as like I'm glad that Sony's not mandating trophies because I mean that would definitely be a pain in the ass for developers to have to go back to old ass shit.
Yeah,
but I'm sure some of them will definitely get updated in the future wise to support trophy support. So we'll see how that goes. But it's got a long way to go. Sony's got a long way to go. But going to what you were saying there a moment ago, though, in related to the whole aspect about PC and mobile by 2025 and whatever the case would be. Yeah, it was a percentage number because they projected back in 2020 that it was going to be 10%. And now they boosted that number up to 40%.
I'm sorry.
By 2025.
I'm sorry, I zoned out there, not because of you, but I saw something it irritated me.
No
Say
worries.
that one more time.
When you brought it up earlier about the whole aspect about the annual releases for PC and mobile by 2025.
Yeah.
That was a 10% number that Sony had projected back in 2020. It is now increased to 40%. So you're going to see more games come out quicker on PC and also whatever games they're planning on making for mobile, which will probably end up being their free-to-play shit, which would make sense.
Right. So I don't want to jump the gun that quickly on that one because that's a lot of ramifications on that one. So that's why I want to keep that in my back pocket for the moment.
Okay.
But what other things do you feel like is going to be a good or decent with this service?
I mean, well, just extra money for Sony. I mean, to be fair, like I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last couple of days and related to what Sean Layton had said in an interview back in 2020. Mm-hmm. That kind of, it really makes sense given the fact that like on certain moves that Sony has been doing.
Right.
And I respect them for doing these moves, not because I know it's going to piss off fans. I don't give a fuck about that. I like the fact that what Sony is doing is finding more ways to make up more extra money on the side so they can keep those flow of AAA big budget games going. Because if you remember correctly, Sean Layton did say in 2020, the more we go through these generations, man, and the more these budgets go up, the more cost efficient and harder it is to make your money back. Basically making it unsustainable. I mean, people complain about, services being unsustainable, but they're actually looking at the wrong picture. AAA is eventually going to get to that fucking point. Too sweet.
Well, before hold that thought because that's going to go in terms of the PC. I know you want to talk about this shit so badly.
I do. It's just because it's just been something that a lot of people aren't looking at, and I think that it's definitely.
And you know what?
A big answer to everything.
So just like with this whole everybody talk about the pew laws, right? They need to add more to it. No one's thinking about the ramifications of this at all, like at all. There's knee jerk reactions to the fucking max. The same thing with this. They get so upset about Sony trying to spread. They're not thinking about if they don't, what would happen and the type of quality of games that they're putting out there. Whether you like the type of quality or not, it is still highly. They should put Crunchyroll in there and more. Who knows, man? They may put Crunchyroll in that bitch. They may throw that bitch in there. But
as like a premium incentive.
It could be a part of the premium incentive.
Yeah, they could do something like that if they wanted to. Yeah, of course.
They could. Even if it's not like a full-on Crunchyroll, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's commercials built into it, right. You know what I mean? Like it could be like a quasi thing.
Because and to be fair, just to add to what you're saying, like Nintendo has like DLC for like that. You know what I mean? For that.
Well, wait. See, that's Nintendo the thing. Shit. I want to talk about Nintendo with this because it's going to be. It's good. No, it's not just because Fatal. You know, I ain't that type of dude, man. I ain't that type of dude to be doing that. I really like to get to the to the grits of the situation, right?
Oh, I know, dude.
So
I know. Yeah.
the business decisions interest me heavily. You know what I'm saying? So they always will. It's always interesting to see how business people. It's always interesting to see that shit.
Of course.
Let's say you had a PS5 though. Would you get the
Mhm.
PlayStation Plus Premium?
Uh, no, I would get deluxe though because of the backwards compatibility stuff.
It's in premium only.
I thought it was also in deluxe.
It's very small.
Oh well, PS1 and PS2 and PSP showed up on the actual deluxe thing, so that's what I'm going based on. But if it's not, then premium it is. Then I don't give a fuck.
Okay, so what about, and you know what interests me a lot too when I look at this shit was the Horizon Forbidden West is actually a 5 hour trial. So I guess the trial is dependent on what kind of game it is. And
Right.
what they deem would be one of those things where you probably would need more time, which is interesting. So I feel like the trials could definitely help. I don't think, what I'm saying, it'll be day and date, type
No,
trials.
no.
I think what it would be maybe a couple of days out, maybe a week out or something of that nature where you can kind of test it out to see what it is.
Right.
And then because the trophies, that was a nice touch too. You still have the ability to, collect the trophies. So if you did want to use this shit, fine. You have that situation going on, which I'm all for. And your progression actually will continue if you decide to buy the game. So
Right.
what they want to do is create a profile to add retention to people that want the service. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's pretty cool. So all in all, looking at the quality of the backwards compatibility, did you see the games running on PS5?
I haven't seen them actually running, but I've seen a lot of screenshots of like the default classic and other modes you could put it in, and whatever the case may be. And that I do appreciate, but I mean, I'm just gonna stick it with default. You know what I
I
mean? Looking at the old school
I
PS PS1 games
I
again.
feel like I'm the crazy one, but I don't like when games are overly emulated. I feel I
Right.
feel like it takes the charm completely out of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because those
I
those
agree.
games
Yeah,
are
I agree
designed
100% on that.
right. Sometimes I like to see the game like 60 frames is fine or whatever the case is, but sometimes I just want to see how the game runs on that, like how it looked and as intended. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Making the
Correct.
game kind of like fit your screen is one thing, and making it cleaner or clearer is another. It's the same thing, but you start adding texture filtering and this and that, and I don't know. I like to see the game. So what it does do is the warping textures for PS1. It doesn't warp as much. It is at it was a much higher resolution as well. They show Tekken and stuff like that as well. And I guess people could be like, "Well, they can make it clear there's better emulators on PC or whatever the case is." Yeah, but you can download shit that don't belong on your PC too and fuck your shit up. So there's that.
Right. Yeah.
It's
There's always
always
that consequence
there's always
behind
that
it.
consequence. And oh man, if they decide, because I heard about a launcher releasing on the PC as well. If they decide to do a launcher and then have the PlayStation Premium in there, that's another thing. Overly okay. So hold on, wait. So somebody said something here. They said, I've been emulating on my PC lately, and I'm good on PC. The deluxe is the same thing as premium in foreign places. Okay, so some places isn't like that. What I mean by over emulating or over emulated is there's a lot of things that you can put in emulators. Like there is the texture wobble that they can remove altogether. There's scan lines that they can remove altogether, or the interlace they can remove altogether. And sometimes when your game is made to on a particular hardware, when you try to get rid of the interlace, then you start seeing all the other flaws, or the game breaks down in general. And that you lose the art style of the game or whatever the case is. So Silent Hill is another game that if you emulate that shit too much, it will start to show. like they designed it where the fog blocks out the draw distance, and what on a PC you can remove the fog, and that will break the game altogether. So stuff like that. You can also extend the draw distance, but then you mess up the vibe of the game. If there's no fog in a Silent Hill game on PS1, then it's like, what the fuck are you scared of? So there's shit like that. That's what I mean by over emulated. Just leave the game, like make it clearer looking, but just leave it like that. Everything else needs to stay there, and I don't mind the texture warping and stuff like that. So going back to what I was saying before, when it comes to that, you have the game trials, and that's going to be dependent on how long the game is. So that's a cool thing as well. So if this game is not that long, they'll probably give you 30 minutes to an hour. Yo, what's going on, Jemiah? Or they'll probably give you, if it's a long game like Horizon Forbidden West, they'll give you 5. I think Cyberpunk also has a 5-hour. It's 5 hours as well. So there's that. I don't mind the emulator. I think the emulators are really cool. That what they had in there was really cool. I like how the emulator is in there. If that's indicative, will they release a launcher for the PC? I don't know. Maybe. Do you think they'll release a launcher for the PC and then put the premium on that bitch?
Maybe.
You think so?
They might. Yeah, they might do that. Because, Steam, Steam is working pretty well for them. They've gotten quite a bit of sales so far with their IPs, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they're cooking up, man, with that client, man.
And the funny thing is, the Epic didn't work because they didn't have any content. And it was,
Correct.
So there's that. Sony has content, and a lot of it, especially since they purchased everything, so there's that.
Right.
So I think we kind of cover PlayStation Plus. My thoughts of PlayStation Plus Premium is I would give it a try. Probably not. No, I take that back. I'll probably just buy the games directly because I really am that dude that just won't do that shit.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of people doing that when it comes to the backwards compatibility stuff, man. I'm also really actually happy that stuff's coming to PS4 as well. So
yeah, I heard about the Raspberry and Retro Pi. I have one of them, so there's that. I've heard about that before. So I've heard of Bleemcast back in the day. If it looks like Bleemcast, I think I'll be cool. With that too, you know what I'm saying? If it looks like the old school Bleemcast, I'll fucks with that too. I don't need anything extravagant. I want to kind of keep the integrity of the game. I know that sounds crazy, and that sounds blasphemous, and it sounds like I'm a corporate shill, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I don't want all that extra shit. I don't. I've never did. I don't even want Shadow of the Colossus, the remake. If they can give me the PS2 version, I'll take that one. That's how crazy it is. There's an art style to that shit. You start adding extra. Chrono Cross. They started adding extra details to shit that didn't belong, and it fucked up the game. So there's that. So, with that being said, our next topic here is going to be the pro consoles. So, Jemiah, what's going on, bro?
What up, Jemiah?
Launcher, it's a suicide mission, bro. Like, if you're not Steam, you might as well not even try. Like, maybe GOG or Steam, but like having a launcher just to sell your games on PC, PC guys are not gonna buy into that shit.
Why not?
Because PC guys are weirdos, bro. Like, they want to have all their shit on Steam. They want to have a concise library. They don't want to have 25 different launchers or stores with all their shit all over the place. Like, even if Origin, like when you buy things on Origin from Steam, it still says this game is bought from Steam. We look in your Origin launcher. Everybody has to bow down to the king, bro. This is how it is.
Jeez.
Sony might actually end up doing the same with that too as well, there, Jemiah.
So like even like you play
the client is just going to be a back end thing for like trophies or whatever you want to call it for like your signing and shit.
That would make sense. It'll just open up the PS launcher in the background like it does with Origin and other launchers. But Steam is always the forefront, and you can import any game from like any other launcher into your Steam library too.
Well, then who gets paid though? Like if it works that way, does Steam get a cut out of it, or it just works with the launcher?
If you buy it on Steam, you still get a cut. Like I bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition on Steam, and I can launch it from Origin or I can launch it from Steam. But if I launch it from Origin, it says it's from Steam.
Well, let's say you bought it from Origin and launch it from Steam. Do they get the money?
No, it's just
Origin does.
Yeah, because I bought it through their. I just imported the game into my library. I didn't buy it off of Steam.
Well, that's probably what they're gonna. That's probably going to be what they're doing. But you look at Origin, you look at Ubisoft. That's the same thing. Yeah, you look at or EA. If you look at all those, they don't have enough. They don't have enough content to really make that shit work. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you have to have a lot.
Origin's got quite a beefy bit of content for EA stuff, but you have to be like dedicated to EA if you really want to use Origin. I mean, they have other stuff too, but
right,
it's not really worth mentioning.
That's what I mean. Like, if you have a plethora of shit, then maybe you have a fighting chance. But the same thing was said about Nintendo. Nintendo, they were like, Origin, that was unbeatable, and then Sony came in with that shit.
No,
so I don't know.
Even with Origin, you can buy games that are not made from EA on Origin.
Mm-hmm.
They sell games it's a storefront too.
Yeah. So what about GOG? How does that work?
I never use that. You got X-Fatal.
GOG?
Yeah.
Whatever game that goes up there, man. Freaking DRM free, but apparently that shit actually isn't true though. Apparently,
I would have known that too.
Some people found that there was DRM fucking behind their games and shit.
Well, moving on from that one, because before Jemiah goes, I wanted to get your take on these pro consoles. So I kind of figured there's been leaks about the pro consoles actually coming out. I don't know of how extensive the graphics will be, but what's your take on the pro consoles? Would you pick one up, Jemiah? Did he leave?
No, my bad. I'm at work, but yeah, no. I would definitely get one because I think that the consoles are about to get passed up with the new GPUs coming out. Like the 40 series is coming out, and then the new AMD cards is coming out. So like they're about to get pushed back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna get left behind.
Yeah,
not left behind, but the bar is raising higher. Pretty much. You see that Nvidia just released they have like a 500 hertz TV. I mean monitor, 500 hertz, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what?
Why do you need that? It just came out.
Why you need that?
Yeah, dude, that's fucking nuts.
Why you need
that's ridiculous. But I'm just.
What's the price for that?
I haven't looked at it. But PC gets a new GPU every 2 to 3 years. So think about it. If you do a mid-gen refresh, it's already been 2 years already.
Well, it's going to be 3. It's going.
We're going into the third year.
They're going into. We don't know what it is. They said something. They said something about 4K 120 frames a second. That's what they were saying. That's the only thing that we kind of know that it will be capable of doing. I don't really give a fuck about 120 frames a second. What I do care about is the ray tracing abilities. That's what I care about. And a lot of people, well, before you go, one thing I want to say for all PC Master Race people is that a console player really don't give a fuck about cutting edge, bleeding edge technology. They don't. So,
it's just fair.
They'll buy that console just to they like to claim that they care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like people that are on welfare that was able to get a little bit of food stamps. They're not rich, but they're like, well, I got some food. You know what I'm saying? But it really isn't that deep for any console player. I have the money to do it. I don't really want to be I don't want to really be like that invested in a PC. Like I had this PC that I have, this laptop. It's good enough for me, but I don't play games on that bitch. I don't want to play games on that bitch. I just don't. I don't.
Like, I think that this gen's going to be like a long ass gen. And I think they won't do a mid-gen refresh until about 2024 at the earliest. I don't, because like the consoles, they haven't been out enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like the first, like almost the first 2 years, I think they're going to start catching up on it. But almost the first 2 years, right? It's been cross-gen games. So like, if you're going to release a pro version of these consoles, you didn't even scrape the surface of the existing ones. It's like, I'll put it to you like this, right? They have ray tracing has like these components, right? and you have a denoiser, right? The denoiser helps to smooth over the gaps, the missing information that the other rays could. Like if the less rays you have, the more gap you're going to have in terms of inaccuracies you're going to have for the ray tracing. But the denoiser will take the image and fill in the gaps, smooth everything over. And if you have a pretty damn good denoiser, it won't be the best ray tracing, but you can get a lot of the ray tracing in there, and you don't have to trace them every frame either. You can trace that bitch every 10 frames. You know what I'm saying? To lessen the load and shit like that. So there's a lot of tricks and trickery that you can do with these particular consoles to get the most out of them. So it's barely scraping the fucking surface. It's interesting.
Yeah. Also, the initial ray tracing, even the video cut back because they're like bouncing like fucking 6 times and trying to do all this shit. They're like,
that's too much.
Even they're like, yeah, we gotta get this shit back.
It's a waste. It's a waste of transistors. It's a waste. There's other ways of doing things because it's inefficient. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about people talk about water caustics, where the water surface reflects and shit. All right, fine, whatever. The net of it is that ray tracing is supposed to making games a lot quicker because they don't have to have an artist placing these lights all over the place. And the byproduct,
useless fucking feature is what ray tracing is.
I don't think it's useless. I think on our end it's useless, but the developer, if they could just turn the fucking switch on and it just does everything for it, and they don't got to manually put these lights in there. Don't get me wrong,
we are getting ray tracing on console side, but only from a software perspective, because hardware right now, if I use on PC side, man, correct me if I'm not mistaken, Jemiah.
It's hardware.
Like, isn't hardware isn't ray trace? No, it's not. It's software.
No, it's hardware.
On the hardware side,
it's hardware.
I'm talking about the PS5.
Yes, PS5 and Xbox, they're hardware.
Listen, real quick.
No, it's software.
No. It uses the hardware to do ray tracing. But when you say hardware ray tracing, what you mean is NVIDIA has special cores in their GPUs that only do ray tracing only. The consoles have to use the actual hardware to also do ray tracing.
Either way, ray tracing is a useless fucking feature, man. We've already had reflections done in the past, man. Who gives a shit? Moving on from that crap.
But if you look at like the Unreal Engine with Lumen, that's going to be the best way to do ray tracing for consoles. Is using that type of technique. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what's funny though, Jemiah? You know what's funny? That Unreal demo that we originally saw, we're never going to get a game that's going to look like that.
You may get it on the PS 5 Pro.
No, you will get it. No, it was already running on there. So yeah, we will get games like that. You won't get games. It ain't going.
No, we won't get games like that.
It won't be 4K.
No, we won't.
But it'll be what we have. Why are you so sure you don't know anything about hardware, Fatal?
I don't know anything about hardware, but I do know that every time we see a tech demo, it never comes into actual fruition.
I got a couple of them.
Every single time that we see an Unreal tech demo, every fucking time a new Unreal Engine comes out, we never see anything equivalent to it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Deep Down.
There you go.
That's Capcom's fault. They did that shit. They fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But the thing is, like, they're probably going to have things in the hardware that will make it easier for you, but what these consoles can do is one piece of ray tracing feature. There's either shadows or ambient occlusion or reflections. You can't have multiple ones because their denoiser sucks. You know what I'm saying? And it's brute forcing all of these different effects. What they need is a unified way of calculating lighting is what they need. And that's what the Lumen does, the Unreal Engine 5. Basically, everything is a reflection, but depending on your surface, it will make it into either global illumination, which is bounced lights, or it could turn into a reflection depending on the roughness of the surface. And that's a very rudimentary way of explaining it, but it's basically a unified ray tracing that mixes hardware and software together, option. That's what's built into it. The thing is, you will definitely not have it's not 4K. That's not going to be a thing. Maybe for the PS5 Pro and whatever.
That's why I find it funny that Xbox said that they had dedicated ray tracing hardware, and their shit doesn't do anything.
They do have ray tracing in there, but it's like you have 52 cores and then you have dedicated ray tracing hardware. You seem to be struggling the most. So it's because the cores are not fast enough, or you can't feed the cores. I know you need a lot of memory to make ray tracing work, and you need speed. I'm trying to figure out like why they are having so much fucking problems with the ray tracing. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to see why. I don't get it. You know, it's weird. But I know I'm gonna go on to the last topic here, and this is what Fado. We were talking about this shit too, because I'm actually glad I didn't have a full house today, because I want to keep this shit short. But PlayStation going to PC their games. Jemiah, what's your take on that? Because you mentioned before they anticipated 10% Fado, and now it's something like 40%. So Fado, what do you have to say about like not Fado, Jemiah, what do you have to say about like PS games going to PC more frequently? I mentioned it's probably going to stop off at a year. You know what I mean? That's going to be the gap. It's going to release on the PlayStation console, and then a year later, it's going to go to PC.
I think that Sony's realizing that like they're gonna have to drop these games at a quicker rate, because sometimes games just people just don't what I mean, they don't go back to play old games, right?
Period.
There's constantly new games coming out. So like if you look at Bungie sales, I think I retweeted it earlier. Horizon sold like 2.63. I think God of War sold under 1 million, and also Days Gone still under 1 million. So they I mean like you made it what, like those are 3 games and you made like 4 million total. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the games are just so old. You know what I mean? So to combat that, I think they're gonna probably do like a 6-month to a year window, just so they can capitalize on that sales. Because they said they made 300, they made about 300 million or something like that, and they're anticipating that the growth is going to be faster this year. You know what I mean? Or next fiscal year. So I think them putting out games faster is going to be the way they're going to combat that lag. And which I think is I mean, honestly, I play my games on PS5. I prefer to play console focused games on the PS5 because of the dual sense and things like that. So I don't really care either way. But like I told people, these PC guys aren't that thirsty for these games. Otherwise, God of War would be over 1 million right now. It's not even over 1 million yet. You know what I mean?
And that's
Like,
why people tend to they fuck up on this shit all the time, right? Let me see what they showing on Row 5, the Japanese train station day and night. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it functions, but that's for the Unreal 5. But yeah, people think that the PC is going to be lucrative and they're going to drop the P. I've been saying this. I said get ready for these games to fucking come out, and I've been on record on saying that it's probably going to be a year, around that mark, so they can capture the people. They already have the statistics, and people need to understand this: the type of games that Sony makes, which is extremely fucking expensive. Somebody's going to have to subsidize that shit too, which is what I'm going to ask you this, Fatal, before I ask the Don what he has to say about this shit. Yo, Don, just to let you know, you're being recorded on YouTube.
Oh,
so
right.
you forfeit like. Somebody said that
all my rights.
You gotta have a disclaimer.
Yeah, you gotta have a disclaimer. Unfortunately,
no, you're good.
Yeah, there was an ex by. He said he was going to sue me. He was going to get his attorney because
he's going to sue.
Yeah, because he made himself look like a fucking idiot.
Call the FTC on your ass, dude.
I prefer Xbox, but I'm not going to sue your ass for
debate. I was like, bro, you could waste your money, my dude. He's go to a public forum and be like, yeah, he's using my voice for what profit? My fucking YouTube channel has like 500 people on that bitch. It's not that deep. But go on.
Yeah.
What you gotta say about all this?
Are you talking?
Yeah,
about
you.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were gonna go with Fatal first, but
no.
I think the discussions of games going to PC, like PlayStation games, you were saying, was that the? I mean, I think they're eventually gonna do it. After time, it's not gonna be instantly, because obviously they're kind of like dipping their toes in the water, as you say, and like looking how good it goes and if it affects sales for their PlayStations. But one of you guys said that God of War didn't even sell 1 million on PC, and I looked it up, and it actually sold 2 million copies on PC. from
No,
this
if
one.
Benji Sales just released the numbers today. If Josh, you see my tweet earlier if you want to bring it up or something. But from what Benji Sales showed, it was 2.63 for Horizon. I think like 900K.
971K for God of War there, Jemiah.
Yeah, so like I'm not sure who's accurate because I don't know where he got the numbers from. No, he got the numbers from Sony, right?
No.
Yeah.
So Benji Sales. I don't see your post, my dude. I searched for you.
Here, hold on here. I'll retweet you. I'll retweet
I see what you do. I
tweet.
see what it is because I don't like Benji Sales.
Oh.
Mine is from Steam Spy or whatever. So I'll put.
But the revenue, though, the revenue that Sony made off of all three games is actually pretty decent, man.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
I mean,
just off of PC sales alone, like it could be a lot worse than. I mean, those numbers aren't big for sale wise, but when you're looking at it from a revenue standpoint, oh yeah, Sony sees that like, okay, we got to do more.
Right. I don't understand like the hate for PlayStation games going to PC or just being like, they shouldn't be a thing. But it's like, well, if they're still selling consoles, I think eventually they'll do it like Xbox has.
No, it's not going to hurt anything from Sony's side. In fact, it's going to help Sony.
Right.
Well,
look, I brought this up earlier, Jemiah, before you got in here, and I was talking to Josh about this. I am a firm believer that the reason why like Sony is doing a lot of these weird moves that people like a lot of diehard fans don't want Sony to do is because they need to find a way to be able to actually help alleviate the money and recoup some of the money in order to keep fucking their first party flow of actual high quality, high budget fidelity games going. Because if you remember, Jemiah, back in 2010, Sean Layden came out and basically stated that, the budgets, the way that AAA is going now and the budgets, they're not sustainable anymore. And I think this is the reason why Sony is making a lot of these weird kind of moves in order to kind of alleviate that pressure while keeping their fan base happy, not doing day and date shit, but also making money on extra on the side in order to make sure that they keep those consistent games coming out for their fan base. They know they can't afford to keep their games day and date like Microsoft can. They already know that shit. So what do they got to do? They're finding another way around that. Microsoft ain't making no goddamn $500 million budget games. Halo? No.
So
that was already
what's going on? What's going on, Arsenic? So the thing about it is this. No, they're not doing this to supplement the games. It's purely to make more money. That's it.
Yeah, to help make bigger budget games.
No, it's just there to make more money. Eventually, I believe it will be a problem. But
how is that not going to help make more higher quality games there, Josh? Explain it to me.
It will as a byproduct, but they're not doing it as if they need it. They need to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't.
I beg to differ on that, sir.
I look at games like Days Gone and like Ghost of Tsushima, which sold like last time we checked, like 8 million. I don't know how Ghost didn't sell like 20 million first year. Like the game is fucking
because
amazing,
people have horrible taste. That's why.
And you would think that more people on Sony's consoles would be buying their exclusives.
But wait, hold on, Jungle, hold on, Jemiah. I could have swore to God, not you, Josh, but. And I'm sure you've heard fucking people on the PlayStation side. Sick called this a lot of people out on this on one of his podcasts the last time I was on one of his shows. Literally saying that all those people that sit out there and say that, we have PlayStation, man, we buy our fucking games. No, the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't.
Well, no, wait.
Their games would be at 20 million by now.
Fado. There are a lot of different games that come out. People are going to buy what resonates with them. That point blank period.
No, and that's fine.
You know what I mean? Because there's some games I won't fucking buy. I don't need to buy it. I don't like it.
Your hatred, your blind hatred towards The Last of Us Part 2. We already know.
Well, since you bring it up, it's not a blind. It's not a blind hatred. It's just
it's a blind.
It's just weird,
No, it's not.
Because here's the thing, right? Let's not political with the game. But people say that Horizon Forbidden West does nothing new from Zero Dawn, and yet with this game, they added was a fucking prone position and a jump button, and all of a sudden it's fucking 200 and something awards,
game changing.
And I feel like that's fucking bullshit. So
I just didn't. What did Horizon Forbidden West do that's new? Fly.
No, the whole game, the whole way that the game plays is different. Their looting system
Yeah,
is totally
flying, grappling.
Honestly, though, I think the
Everything
gameplay
is
wouldn't
different.
even be an issue if it weren't for the story for me, because the story is what killed it for me. Like, I didn't like it at all. I didn't
The
like where they
gameplay
went
is
with it.
identical. The story is mediocre. The ending sucked, actually. The story was a lot better than the first, in my opinion, but the ending, they fucked up on the ending. But the gameplay was identical to the first one.
Which game?
Yeah.
Forbidden West.
Okay. So the gameplay was identical. And he must have put this shit on story mode and just ran through this bitch. But that's okay.
It took me like 30 hours to go through it?
It does not take 30 hours if you
Does it take?
No. I said I spent 30 hours before I finished the fucking main story.
Oh, because you were probably doing a lot of side quests and all that, yeah. But it's usually
I wasn't doing any side quests.
Oh, that was just the main story?
Yeah, the game is very long.
Yeah, for the most part.
Damn. It's pretty
let's go look at my time.
Yeah, you're saying that it does nothing new.
Yeah.
From what I played of it, dude, no.
Let's not derail the conversation. Horizon does a lot of things new. Let's just leave it at that. Like, I don't want to
such as
the grappling, the
grappling hook that only shows up for certain fucking objectives, and you can't even climb up regular walls unless the wall actually allows you to do it.
There's many walls. There's many walls that allow you to do it.
Limited.
So you can't do.
How is fucking Breath of the Wild fucking outshiny?
If you have a grappling hook,
I'm just talking shit, Josh. I'm just talking
shit. I was gonna say you can't grapple everything in real life.
Relax. I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking shit.
But like I was saying,
Josh, I always gonna talk shit on this fucking podcast.
Like, if you look at fucking Nintendo's attach rate, I mean, Nintendo has a narrower. They make games, the same games over and over, but like their base loves it. I think Sony makes a bunch of wide games. So like Josh said, you're not gonna have everybody that's gonna buy every exclusive because it's so vast, it's so different.
And I will say,
to an extent,
Nintendo,
they do.
They don't put their games on sale, so when they sell their games, it's usually $60 for the majority of those units. They'll probably do a sale where it's like $10 off. But Sony does like a thing where, like, I got God of War and Spider-Man for like $20 originally than the $60 price. So I mean, it kind of gets a little muddy, like the actual.
So now, does that determine the value of the games?
What's that?
No, does that determine the value of the games when they go on sale like that?
No. I mean, it depends, I mean.
But I find that's crazy. Like Mario Kart 8 is like at like over 40 billion. That shit is crazy to me.
It's almost close to 50, huh? Yeah.
It's ridiculous how much
Nintendo, like from Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo's like the only system where it's like you only buy a Nintendo for like their exclusives, pretty much. You know what I mean? Because
it's always been that way since.
The thing is, they could sell 40 million for the games because they don't release as many games as Sony. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to buy Gran Turismo. Not everybody's going to buy Gravity Rush. Not everybody's going to buy, whatever game that they put out there.
Clearly, nobody bought Gravity Rush.
Clearly. The thing is...
Clearly. Which is a shame.
The thing is that Sony has a lot of different games that you could pick up and it's not going to resonate with everybody. And that's fine. But when you have just 5 main games, it's going to do it. But that's the thing that I wanted to ask you, Fado, though. The quality that Sony is trying to put out there, the CGI-esque type of games or type graphics and shit like that. All right, fine. People are saying that they're going to run out of budget or whatever the case is, and they need to start disseminating their games in different platforms. But wait. Let me explain it. So, but if for Nintendo, the reason why Nintendo makes so much money is because the R&D for their games is so little. It's really, they barely spend any money on their games.
Correct.
So who's right here? I mean, like is it just the fan base that just don't really care and they just want the same game over and over? Like, why does it always affect Sony when it comes to that shit?
Because people expect that from Sony.
Exactly. I was going to say, Sony set the expectations for these AAA blockbusters, and Nintendo never did that. And that's the difference.
And Nintendo proves too as well that fucking power is not the answer to everything.
I'm going to just be listening to YouTube.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for having me. And also, don't use my voice.
Stupid ass.
Yo, peace out, Jemima.
Peace, Jemima. What were you saying, Don?
Have a good one, bro. I was just gonna say, Nintendo probably has to put less effort. Well, not like in terms of the actual gameplay, but in terms of visuals and like what would have to go for like a PS5 or Series X game or like a higher quality visually, just like game like that. I think Nintendo.
Now let's not be obtuse, Arsenic. They don't have voice actors for their games, so that's less people they have to pay for.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Their games are nowhere near as large,
Yeah.
so that's less money they have to spend to make
you
the
also-
environments.
And Nintendo builds their
you also
games
have to
from
account-
wireframing too as well.
They're they put out games and everything, so you don't know like in their console they probably make more from their store front because I don't know how much they charge exactly, but with Xbox and PlayStation in their storefront they charge like a 30% fee for each game that's sold on their stores, and just also additionally with subscription services like with the Nintendo service, expansion thing or whatever. There's different revenues and just different ways that they make their money that isn't just exclusive
Have
to
a good
games.
one. Have a good one, JCast. I don't know. I guess you're leaving. I don't know, but yeah, that's the thing too.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Sony, they got motion capture. They have They had what's her name? Fucking Carrie Ann Moss. They have fucking all sorts of crazy fucking people that be in their games. And on top of it, they have the technology to capture facial expressions and shit like that. There's the R&D to make these games run and look the way that they do.
Yeah.
The game has way more fucking detail across the board, and somebody needs to model those things. You know what I'm saying? With many different layers of textures and shit like that. So even if the game was 100% Sony's, right, on a storefront, you got somebody that's paying, or that, let's say that the budget was 50 million for the typical Nintendo game, which I would think it would be around that. And Sony's is 300 million. And both games are sold at a $60 clip. And Sony's games sell maybe like 8 to 10 million, which you'll get some sort of profit from that, right? And Nintendo sells like 20 fucking million per game, basically. And their game was only 50 million. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get a lot of fucking money for that shit. So
right, and especially since they don't put their games on sale a lot,
and they don't put it on sale.
$60. Yeah.
They don't put it on sale. Give it 6 months, and like Horizon Forbidden West would be like $40 or 50 or some shit like that. Probably 50. And and that's where they get a lot of their sales to experience. And this is why they're going to games as a service and making these service games, because they can make the service games use the assets that they did for the single player games, right? Or for the single player games and make that into some sort of multiplayer game. Kind of like what they did with Ghost of Tsushima.
Right. I think that's what's smart too, with like other companies like Xbox.
All right, that was
Game Pass, because in a way it's like, I was gonna say, with Game Pass, when you buy a game, you also might even invest more into that game since you spent less money. You could you can buy microtransactions or whatever,
DLC and shit, yeah.
Right, yeah, and that's a way that Xbox is going with it, where it's like there's two different strategies you see. With Sony, it's like give us the money up front and you get the game, and then if you want, you can also get expansions as well. But the cost of that is like some people are less willing to just put out $70 for a game they might not like or whatever. And with Xbox, I guess it's just with Game Pass, you get the subscription service, you play the game, and if you really like it, you could spend even more money with like expansions and stuff like that.
Well, the thing about it is that it will work for Microsoft if they had enough content. And we already know that.
Right.
We already know what Microsoft is doing is that they're making their games bite-sized, essentially. It's the same.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. The same type of. Yes,
no, they're not.
The same type of flavoring.
What game has launched on Game Pass that has bite size?
Forza.
Halo. If you say Halo Infinite, I'm going to punch you in the fucking teeth.
Forza. Halo.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No, because all these games were in development prior to Game Pass ever existing. So explain that, Josh.
You act like development can't change. Miss
Okay, so let me ask you this question, Josh. You think Avowed is going to be a small fucking game?
Let me clarify. When I say bite size, I mean, listen, when I say bite size, I'm not talking about the game is like a fucking indie game. I'm saying that the game is broken up.
Okay.
I mean, that's
so you use Halo as an example, but even on the free-to-play multiplayer is not even part of Game Pass, and yet the campaign is 30 hours long.
Right. I mean, that's on 343. Honestly, that whole thing.
The fuck are you talking about?
So on Game Pass, right? What part of Halo was in Game Pass?
The campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
and again, to be honest with you, what I think is I believe you too, Don. I think that was a 343 thing. I think that Microsoft gave them parameters, and they just dropped the fucking ball.
And I will say, it's also just a thing with Halo's one of the Xbox's biggest IPs, and they also had that pressure of they released the date of when the game was supposed to come out with the Series X, but then they had to delay it obviously because the showing of it got negatively received. So I also think it's just the pressure build up.
Whatever it is, it's reduced. They could have came out with the same type of Halo that they did with the other game, but they decided to have these lofty expectations with these games, calling it infinite because they are anticipating. They needed something to put on Game Pass, and they needed something to make it look. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. They needed something to make it look worthwhile. Because if they took that whole game, right, and they put that shit on Game Pass, why not put the whole fucking shit on Game Pass? You know what I mean? Why not? Single player,
because that's not what their goal was.
Probably they saw the multiplayer and saw it didn't have as much as the content it was supposed to be. So they're like, oh, well, let's make it free to play, and hopefully, that way we won't get as much negative feedback or push on.
Bingo.
Absolutely. But that's
absolutely. Look,
that
they could have took the old. What was the last Halo? What was the number? 5. They could have just literally took the model of that shit and then continued on with that type of development. Easy.
No.
They had a lot of development issues, I believe, with that.
You clearly don't know what makes a good Halo game, sir.
It's not infinite.
Actually, Infinite is the best 343 game they've done in the Halo franchise so far today. Best gameplay, fucking everything.
It's coming from somebody.
Exactly.
Coming from somebody.
The multiplayer doesn't have enough content. Yes.
This is coming from somebody that fucking likes the Ninja Turtle shit. Anyway, go on, Don, please.
What Ninja Turtle shit? Ninja Turtle shit.
We're going.
You talking shit?
Don.
Are you talking shit with the
player? Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, it just depends on the studio. 343 obviously had that pressure of handling, Halo, which is one of the Xbox's biggest franchises at the time. And I think that we're starting to see a change a bit because it's with Game Pass, they have to keep that subscriber amount. They got to keep growing it. And obviously, you're not going to be doing that if you just put out these half-assed games that no one really likes. So I think that's why I think they delayed Starfield and Redfall because they really want to push out these higher quality games to keep growing Game Pass.
You're not making... Okay, so put it like this, right? You had since 2017 to make a compelling fucking service. Why is this $1 trillion company struggling the way that they are? It's beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me.
The answer is very simple. The answer is extremely fucking simple, Josh. The fact that you don't even see it baffles me. Truly baffles me. Because if you had paid attention to the developers that they bought out from 2018 onwards, most of their studios, man, minus the Initiative and fucking even Playground Games got fucking Forza Horizon 5 out. Fucking every studio they bought already had a game in the middle of development that they had to finish, which either came out last year or the year before. So if you're going to tell me that these developers are going to come out and make a game within less than 2 years, you're smoking serious crack.
That's not. See, we're not. The problem is not the developers. Realize what I just said instead of you just assuming. I said, how does a $2 trillion company fuck this shit up? That was their fault for buying those companies. Nobody told them to buy.
But how is it their fault when they need first-party studios, though?
There was other people that they could have acquired. They didn't have all that shit on their plate. Or they already had. It doesn't matter who. Such as. That's up to them to pull the people together.
But they wouldn't have games ready for fucking launch of the Series X, though, if they would have bought them out in 2018.
They've been coasting on hopes and dreams. They could sit there. Listen.
How have they been coasting on?
Because where's your fucking games?
Dude, they released 14 of them bitches since 2018. What are you talking about?
Okay, look, the problem is
The
PlayStation is way better at, in my opinion, at least managing their time with their games, especially if they have timed exclusivity with like what we see with Deathloop and with Ghostwire Tokyo. Obviously, that's how they kind of fulfill their year out. Is if they don't have enough exclusives, like first party wise, they'll get some third party exclusives or whatever.
Yeah, that was the way Microsoft used to be back when Peter Moore was running shit.
We're not saying no. We're not.
And then when Don Matrix came in, he fucked everything all up.
Talking about the past, they could have bought Sega. They could have bought a whole bunch of fucking people. If you want to be apologist for this raggedy ass company that don't know how to fucking manage, then you can go ahead and do that. The bottom.
What do you mean? Okay, explain to me what do you mean by don't manage? I don't understand that. I don't understand that philosophy. What studios? What studios is being mismanaged?
And not even trying to listen.
I'm not even yelling. I'm talking in my normal voice. No, I'm not. I'm talking in my normal voice. No, well, I'm talking over you, but I'm not yelling. So you have to answer me this question: what studios are being mismanaged?
What studios are being managed well? Let me ask you that question.
I think
what studio is being mismanaged, Josh?
All of them.
No, they are not.
I think it's a studio decision because when you look at the initiative and you look at like another studio like Bethesda or whatever, or like whatever game studios in Bethesda, they have different managing teams within those studios. So
the initiative is the only company right now that's in shambles right now.
Arsenic, right? No. So Arsenic says they need games. If they needed studios, listen. If they needed studios, right? Oh man, you fucked it up. I was supposed to see that shit. If they needed studios, right? They closed Lionhead out. They fucked up Rare. They fired a whole bunch of fucking people there. Like they had studios and then they screwed them over. So they said
they only ever had
can I say
studios.
Something, please?
No.
Bungie fucking left. Bungie was able to make Destiny. They fucking bounced because they didn't like the fucking management. This is already
half the team stayed at 343. We know.
This is already known.
Well, Bungie left because they wanted to be on their
independent. Yeah, they didn't want to make Halo no more.
Again, this is all. Fade, I'm gonna need you to just tone it. Just let people talk. You fucking Jesus. Listen. Because every time I'm trying to say something, I can't even say anything anyway because whatever they're doing, you don't think they're doing anything wrong. I see clearly
they're not.
Then then why aren't they releasing games? They bought raggedy ass studios, and it's their fault that they were working on games.
It's funny that you say they bought raggedy ass studios, but yet Obsidian and In Exile's been in the industry longer than Naughty Dog has. So chillax on that. Number two.
Who cares about how long you've been in there? What's the output?
That actually matters. That actually fucking matters, sir.
What's the output? How many? What's the output?
What do you mean? What's the output? Speak English. Speak English.
What do you mean speak English? What are you talking about? You about to get kicked, man. I swear. Go on, man.
Hey, man.
What'd you say again, Don?
Or I was just gonna say, these studios and stuff like that, we haven't seen the fruits of these acquisitions just yet, and I think that's why we're in this slow period right now, especially this year with the whole delay with Starfield and Redfall and all that. But I think generally we're gonna see eventually some great games. I mean, it's just a matter of time. It's just now, we haven't seen the fruits of these acquisitions just yet.
Let me ask you, what did you think about Halo?
I liked it. I liked the campaign. I would give it around like an 8 or 9
so that's
for me, the campaign.
So what about the other Halos? How would you rank it? How would you rank it between Halo 1 through
campaign wise or like
the whole game?
Well, for me, Infinite kind of goes down a little bit with the multiplayer, but at least for the content, because the actual gameplay is super fun for me. But if I were to rate it, I think Halo 5 was honestly, for me, it was the worst one in terms of the campaign. The multiplayer was pretty decent, but it didn't really feel like a traditional Halo game. And I thought it was all right. I didn't hate it or like love it or anything. I just thought it was all right. And Halo 4, I didn't like the whole loadout thing. They tried to make more like Call of Duty. The single player I thought was all right, but it was a little confusing with the Didact and Librarian and all that. And then, for the other games, Halo 3 and before that. I think they were generally just really good. But
so
yeah, I
this
think
one,
Halo
so
Infinite's a good step in the
so
right
this one
direction.
is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Do you think that all of the delays that they've had with this game and just the time duration from them mentioning the game and it coming out that last year, do you think it was worth that wait?
Again, well, I'm kind of a recent Halo fan. I played the whole Halo game, all the Halo games like 3 years ago. So honestly, I didn't like wait the whole time. But for me, I think the delays that they did, especially for 2020 when they shut it off at first and they delayed it a year, graphically, I thought it was a good delay. And I think for me, honestly, I think the game is good. I just didn't like the multiplayer, the fact that it didn't have a lot of content that the other ones
So
did.
you played the old Halos, which are dated, like mini games. So you didn't get the full effect of what they've done to push the industry when they came out. Okay.
Again, well, when they came out, I was really young. I was like, I mean, when Halo 3 came out, that was like, what, 2008 or 7?
Yep.
And I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. I'm 20 right now,
Which
so
is fine.
like
Which is
I
fine,
recently
and
got
that
into
makes
the
sense
PC
too.
collection.
Because I can
Yeah,
tell you this, I could be like, "Yo, Don, go ahead and pick up Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 for the PlayStation 1." And you'd be like, "I'm not playing that fucking shit."
I'm generally pretty nice with that sort of stuff. I like playing older games because it for me a lot of older games story wise is
No,
good.
but
Like,
that's
obviously not
fine.
exactly
But
good
like,
story
that's
wise, but
fine.
it's
So
just
you're
better
taking it
in some
as
ways.
face value. But when it came out back in the day, like Ocarina of Time and those like Zelda Ocarina of Time and stuff like that, they were extremely innovative and something that you like. If I told you to play Grand Theft Auto 3, people were like, "Yeah, it's okay," because so many things have
Right,
changed. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
that's the difference here, and that's fine. But I
Yeah,
can say this because I don't want to
right.
hold any of you guys up or whatever the case is, but I'm gonna say this right. Is I like to have these particular discussions and really understand what's happening when it comes to people that favor Xbox. Because again, if nobody really kind of be like, "Yo, you guys need to do better," to me, giving it a game an 8 for a game that's called Infinite and is supposed to have all these lofty like expectations and shit, like that's not good enough. And I don't give a fuck what excuse it is. Like you got these studios and you purchased these really small studios when they could have purchased Sega and shit like that. But you purchased these really small studios that were already working on fucking games, and then those games come out like Bleeding Edge and shit like that, and they're not good enough for a service. Period. They're just not. I don't care what the excuse is because nobody cares about the fucking excuse. They want what they want. They want the content. And if you
Well,
are,
I think you're looking.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. Are you gonna finish up or
I was just going to say that.
can
I was
I?
just going to say this. Like,
Yeah.
you really should be requesting more for your service and value. That's what I think.
I
Being
yeah
complacent is like,
yeah, and right. I agree with you in the way of like we need to ask for more, like especially with the Halo franchise with Infinite. I think they needed to reach a bar limit of like what we expect. And for other games, we don't really see that. Like on Game Pass, especially with like Psychonauts 2. I played the first one probably like a year before, and I really liked it, even though it was like older because of the graphics and everything. But when I played the second one, it was a general like huge improvement. And I think you know just because something's on Game Pass, I don't think because sometimes people will look at it and be like, oh, it's bad because the quality of these games will downward trend in terms of quality. But I kind of disagree. I think Game Pass just hasn't proved it exactly like yet, but I think it's going to get there because they have to keep improving on these games if they want their subscriber amount to grow. Because there's a line of quality that subscribers expect. I mean, you look at Netflix. Netflix lost a lot of subscribers because they weren't putting out stuff. They're canceling shows,
mhm.
and
They slip
that's
and look,
why
they slip
these.
once, man,
Yeah.
and it is drastic. The people that buy Netflix, they don't put up with that bullshit. If Microsoft didn't have, right, if they did not have the studios or their studios not ready, it is up to Microsoft They'll buy exclusivity. In the meantime, Sony was able to do that with Deathloop. You know what I'm saying? Before they were acquired or whatever the case is, it's no excuse.
Yeah, and that's why I think this year
But why wait? But why wait?
Because
Because other people have services with shit in it. You know what I'm saying? Why is this apology, this apologist attitude? This is not a fanboy situation.
Let me
but
speak.
I hear this shit.
No.
Who's that?
It's me. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say.
How about you at work?
I am, but I was going to quick because Fader was pissing me off. But like, we got Undead Labs. That shit's fucked up. Sexual harassment, all kind of shit. We got Playground Games. Can't make
that got swept under the rug real quick.
Games who don't know how to make an RPG, but yet they were given an RPG.
They can bring people over from 3 of their goddamn Western RPG studios.
Can he talk?
Why would you give them a project that they couldn't do? Now, Fable is one of my favorite games, and I'm looking forward to Fable coming out. But why would you give that game to a studio who can't fucking do it? Now you got to take resources from other studios to help them out.
They chose that. I think.
Who gives a shit?
Xbox is forcing them.
But again, if you're a manager, listen, Don. If you own the business, let's say you own the McDonald's, you don't allow your employees to be like, I don't feel like making that hamburger. I'll make it when I make it. It's up to you. It's up to you. There's no depends though. You don't run a business like that. It's up to you to be like, yo, get your shit together. Put that fucking patty on the grill. You don't just allow them. You don't just allow them to do shit.
Whose TV's on the background?
No, it's us echoing. It's fatal.
Nah, no, it's not. There's literally a cartoon on in the background.
I have nothing playing on anything on my devices.
Well, I don't know.
It's not me.
Blaming the white guy, you racist bitch.
Didn't you say autumn?
But yeah, I was just gonna say, it's if you're looking, are you guys saying that it's like management wise they shouldn't have made or they shouldn't have let them make a RPG game because they're not experienced in that?
Let me answer. Let me hold on. Wait. Let me answer this question. I'll let you go. Right. So Guerrilla Games has done nothing, right, but make linear shooters. And they were kind of tired of making that shit, right? So you know what they ended up doing? They started hiring people that did MMOs, people that did what do you call it?
Yeah, I gotta go, Josh. Sorry,
right, man. People that made Witcher 3.
Bye, bitch.
Oh my god!
So shit like that, right? There were people that did. Yeah. There were people that did that, right? They hired those people, even though they've never made an RPG before, right? And then they came up with Horizon Zero Dawn. This is coming from them never ever making it. You look at Naughty Dog, right? Naughty Dog used to make linear platformers, and they went from a linear platformer to a Grand Theft Auto platformer that was Jak 2. Out of nowhere. You do what you have to do to make your game or your vision. And nobody was there to manage them. And this is the result.
I mean, I think, when you're looking at it like that, it's just like, I don't know what's going on with like Undead Labs or with, Playground Games or whatever. Like, all we know is that some people will come out and they say this stuff, and we don't know how the game is going to be in reality when we see it. Obviously when it looks bad, because a lot of times game development is a huge, struggle. It's a lot of ups and downs. You have your bad parts of it, you have your good parts of it. It's kind of like this whole thing until the game comes out and you actually see the fruits of all of that hard work and the struggles between that. So I think we just really need to wait and see.
But look at this game. Look what happened to Everwild. They had the game, they brought it out, they showed a trailer, and then they're like, "We don't know what the fuck we're making. We're gonna figure it out. We'll come back." Look at Grounded.
We'll come back to that.
They bring out Grounded, and they're like, "This is a cool game. We're gonna put it in early access for the next 10 years." Like they're not doing their jobs over there. As management goes, like it's simple as that.
Right, and I think sometimes it is.
Yeah. Upper. Yeah, go on.
Hey, my bad, yo. Like as a person in here that like you played Halo, right? Infinite campaign.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Okay, so this is my confusion. No hate or nothing, right? So, like Halo Infinite, as we understand, 10-year plan, right? To me, that sounds like a bad fucking idea. But like after beating the Halo Infinite campaign, you realize that like, okay, that's not the end of the campaign story, right?
Yeah, not exactly. No.
Okay. So my question is this: when do you expect more campaign content?
Um, Again, I see it being a little longer because the multiplayer they're kind of working out right now. If we're seeing like a new expansion of the story for Infinite, I could say probably 3 to maybe 4 years because it's probably going to take a bit to patch things out with the multiplayer and keep that content flowing again. And I don't know what the situation is with the studio that's helping him out. I think it's Certain Affinity with the whole, well, it's rumored to be the Battle Royale thing. But again, I'm not exactly sure, but I would say like 3 to 4 years for the
Wait,
expansion.
I okay. So this is done. I like to be optimistic as well, right? My
Hmm.
problem is this, right? So I get it. Halo was probably all they wanted it to be cracked up to be at launch, right? The Lady Air came out a year later, right? And this is the campaign that we get. It's a 10-year plan, right? And like they say, Halo Infinite, not Halo Infinite multiplayer. Halo Infinite's 10-year plan. We play the campaign, realize this is my. I don't give a fuck about multiplayer, right? I'm a campaign person, right? I have an
Yeah.
Xbox. Shit, I played this shit, right? Beat this shit. I don't give well, co-op. I wanted it, but like now it's too late. I already beat the goddamn campaign. I need more campaign to beat with a co-op partner now, right? So my thing is like, when were they planning to come out with more campaign DLC? You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like,
according to Fado, he says that it's not Microsoft's fault. It's they were already working on games when they were acquired.
no, but no, but this is what I'm saying. Okay, so whenever Halo was damn near slotted for launch 2020, right? They
Yeah.
looked at it and said, it doesn't look good enough. We got to make it look better, right? We didn't know that it wasn't going to have a lot of features, co-op, forge, and shit.
Ray tracing was supposed to be in there too. That's still not there.
Supposed to be a lot of shit, right? But
Hmm.
then it comes out, right? And then but keep in mind, the entire time, nothing has changed about the it's a 10-year plan thing, right? So this is my thing. Like, when when do you think originally the next drop of campaign expansion or DLC was originally slotted for?
Yo, Don, you have a lot of background noise.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah,
I,
it's you.
what do you hear?
It's
Like
your
the
mic. Is your
TV?
no?
It's
It's
like some
echoing.
cartoon or something. Like I don't know, kids in
It's
the
not a
background.
it's not a cartoon. It's us. I can hear the echo.
Oh, you can hear you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Like, I think that like it's so much like fucked with like multiplayer and everything, and then there's no co-op and then Forge, right? That we overlook the fact that Halo Infinite is a 10-year plan and the campaign is a fucking segment or a chapter in the story of the
It
campaign.
was supposed to be extra rings and extra environments. It was supposed to be a lot of different things, and it's like you can like Xbox as much as you want to, right? But like one thing that irritates me about a lot of Xbox fans, Don, is that they tend to overly criticize the PlayStation community for every fucking thing. And they seem to just completely be oblivious to what's happening there. You listen to Fatal, which he likes the stuff. He says they're still coming out with games. Oh, don't worry about it. It's coming. It's coming. I mean,
I mean, yeah, you're kind of like on the spot with like that with some Xbox fans because you're obviously gonna have those fanatics with Xbox who hate on the other system just because it's not theirs, and vice versa with PlayStation, you know. And when it comes to the whole Xbox thing with them hating on PlayStation things, it becomes a variety of different topics, and that's a whole thing on itself. So I mean, really, it's it's sad honestly because sometimes with the PlayStation guys and the stuff with Xbox and Xbox guys with the same PlayStation, it's just kind of like, can we just play games, guys? Like, can we just talk
It's
about like
like
some
it,
fun
but
stuff
that's
and
the
just play
thing.
games?
This is why PlayStation has an issue with shit going on PC, right? Is because they want to be irrefutable when it comes to the stuff that they have on there. They don't want this shit to be on PC. And they start seeing the stuff that's on PC, and it automatically invalidates them. That's the kicker. What's going on with the PC situation? So you got some fanboys on the PlayStation side, but here's the thing: we have content. That's one thing that you can't deny. It's a lot of it, and it's for everyone.
Right. When
All
it comes
sorts
to
of fucking
first party
content.
exclusives, the PlayStation has always killed
No,
it in terms.
but I'm not even going to
Yeah.
mention exclusives. I'm just period. It's just a lot of content.
I mean,
Whether it comes out on PC or not, there's a lot of stuff that comes along with this under the Sony umbrella, and I've been saying that shit. I've been making jokes about that shit.
so are you counting
Instead of saying only, so instead of saying only on PlayStation, you should be saying only from Sony at this point in time. Because it's coming out for PC for sure. But what were you saying again?
um I was just gonna say, that's PlayStation or Sony comes out with a lot of stuff. When it comes to like third party exclusive deals or first party stuff, especially they've done a very good job, and that's an area that Xbox definitely needs to improve on because with the one generation, I was there for the whole gen. I used my brother's PS4 towards the end, and that's how I played God of War and Spider Man. I noticed these games are really nice and high quality games that I think Xbox should learn from, and especially for Game Pass, because I'm a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, I think they should put that towards Game Pass, especially with all the money that they have and are investing in it currently with the Activision Blizzard deal and the Bethesda stuff.
But you guys need to speak up on there. Like instead of worrying
I'm
about.
actually out now. All right, peace,
All right, man.
thanks.
Instead of you guys actually,
Hmm.
worried about who they're going to acquire, you guys need to worry because you were going to get whatever Bethesda or Activision was going to give you anyway. They already had a trajectory. What you
Right,
should
no.
be worrying about, there's a flavor that Microsoft has to offer, and someone mentioned this before that was a fan, and they said they like that whole like do bro action, kind of like party type vibes and stuff like that, and that's fine. You can have that, but they're not even providing that for you guys.
Well, for me, it's not just because like I'm not like saying, oh, I want Xbox to acquire this studio because it'll be exclusive and then this and this and this. Like it's fine, whatever. I don't care what they do with the exclusivity stuff. Obviously, I think they should always put it on PC and Xbox. And with some games they're always going to put on PlayStation that are like more multiplayer, I guess, or whatever. I don't know the whole strategy behind that when it comes to far off in the future. But for me, it's more of like when these games come on the Game Pass day one, that's a huge deal for me. If like when the Activision Blizzard deal, when it goes through, I'm just gonna be more hyped for the idea of just not having to spend $60 to $70 on the new COD game every year. It's just nice, for me.
Well, that's the
Sometimes
thing. That's the thing. I think that what they end up going to do, what they're going to do, is that it's going to be it's going to be a piece of the game that's going to come out on Game Pass, and there's going to be something that you still have to pay for because again, the model just doesn't add up. There's developers that are speaking out on that shit too. Like the model isn't there. It's fine if you don't have the money or whatever the case is, but I don't think you should be gaming if you're gonna buy a $500 console just to pay like whatever $15 a month or however much it costs.
I mean,
Honestly,
Gamecast but like with Call of Duty particularly, right? And like how they are like developing Warzone, aren't they like making a marketplace that is like developed for a live service environment? So like, and because keep in mind, Modern Warfare 2, the shit that's about to come out in October, that's not a Game Pass game. You know what I'm saying? That deal don't
right.
close until like summer of next year. The next
Yeah.
duty is
But I
a
think
a
next year's is delayed, so I think it's the year after because I think they delayed next
exactly
year's.
right.
Yeah.
So
Even if you do decide to look at the game for like the Call of Duty has been in decline recently. And a game that has been actually picking up is the Warzone one.
For
which
me,
is free to play.
honestly, I think Cold War was good for me, and I like Modern Warfare 2019. I thought those were one of the best games they put out in recent times. But obviously, last year's, I guess I would say, Vanguard wasn't like all that for me. I didn't even buy it. Like I bought it on sale for 40, and I just refunded it. But that's a good thing about Game Pass is sometimes you're gonna get these higher quality games, like with like Cold War. For me, I thought it was good. The zombies and the campaign, especially the multiplayer was kind of iffy, but I think the game was good. But I think we're gonna always have these ups and downs with the subscription service model. You're gonna have your more quality games that people are gonna notice more, and for those lesser, like more, you know, games that people don't enjoy, I don't think they're gonna gain as much traction because again, Game Pass they need to grow um, exponentially to satisfy their investors and obviously, keep things
Don,
running every quarter.
Don, Don, can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
I think what you just said just now is I've been hitting on this shit, but kind of from the other side, and I want you to hear me out real quick on this, right? I don't know how old you are, right?
He's 20.
20.
You kind of young, 20s, right?
He said
So,
20 years old on the dot.
20 exactly. Yeah.
oh god damn. Oh, you're super young, right? You might not know about like multi-level marketing schemes and shit like that, right? But it's the way Game Pass plays out. Uh, you fuck. He left. Wait, no,
Who?
you're here. No, somebody else got added. Um, the way Game Pass plays out, right? It's like a sort of like a multi-level marketing Ponzi scheme, right? I don't know if you're
He
old enough
probably,
to.
he probably don't even know what that is.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I don't.
you probably never heard.
That's not a dig to you.
No,
That's
you
years ago
like
that they used that.
past generation, like when I was in my 20s, like I got roped to going into a multi-level marketing scene presentation at least once. Like we probably
Yep.
all did that are like late 30s, right? Because
Yep.
that was the shit. Like Bernie Madoff Ponzi schemes and shit. Look up how the
I paid 75. No, I paid $175 for a guaranteed position at a dealership to make sales,
yo
and it was a scheme. What they did, they had
Hmm.
presenters and presentations on how much, and they were professional too, man. They were good at what they did. And then towards the end of it, right, they were like, okay, we want to make sure everybody's the best of the best, but if you take this course, there's a crazy probability that you'll get it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And why not? Because you're paying $175, but the type of money that you'll be making, plus we give you the car so you can test out. You don't even need a car. And at the time, I was poor as shit. You know, I was like, well, fuck it. You know what I mean? They want to give me a car, and all I gotta do is just make myself look nice and not sell cars. And you can make, like, at the time, this was big, like $80,000 a year. I was like, fucking sign me up. One person got the job out of a class of 15 people. And what they ended up doing is stating the program should have made everybody get the job basically, but it's up to the dealership to hire you. We can't force them to hire you. And that's how they got away with my $175. You know what I'm saying? So I think what Upper Room is kind of mentioning when it comes to this shit, right, is that here's the situation though. You Game Pass sounds like a great idea, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if it seems too good to be true, it is.
you
You're already
that
looking at what,
money in, you throw that
huh?
money in, and you're like, wait, right? Because like we're paying 15 in the hopes of this shit in the future, and then they delay it, and it's like, wait a minute, it's good. Give me 6 more months, but it's like, nigga, I'm still paying you the same money that if I would have got it today, though.
I mean, for me, it's just like I would just cancel it if it wasn't giving me my values. Where it's just
Yeah, but
But
okay,
so let me
this
ask
is
you
the
this, Don.
kicker. This is the
Let me
kicker,
ask you
though.
this.
hmm,
What have
My,
you
my
been
bad,
playing
my
in the
bad.
last year?
Real quick,
this year.
I
Oh,
signed up for a year, right, of Game
Yep.
Pass on a discount. So much is good until January. right? So if I'm not month to month, right, and they convince somebody like, oh, Game Pass is the shit, and then this next year you're gonna be getting all this good stuff, right? So it's like, yeah. You throw your hand up in the air, jump up, they take the picture, when it pauses when you're in the air, everybody's
He don't remember that. He don't know about them sitcoms, man. Stop.
no, hell know about that shit, right? But this is the thing, right? That's when that
Yeah.
picture was taken when I signed up for a year, right? I paid for my year. At the end of that year, none of them games they told me about came out, right? So my like nigga, where's my I can't
Yeah.
cancel month to month. Like it's a goddamn fucking Ponzi scheme. I'm trying to tell
Well,
you.
and
Every
here's the
del-
thing.
that's
And
that
here's
that was
every
your
oh
delay
my
makes
bad, my
them
bad.
take
I am
my
so sorry.
money.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. There was somebody that was in here that was looking to talk. Otaka, how you say your name?
Okita.
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 Okita. My
Yo.
bad. Go on,
No, you're
please.
good. You're good.
I'm
Just
trying to
going
wrap
back
this
to
shit up.
you're good. Just going back
My
to the
bad.
Call of Duty topic that you guys were on. I'm, you know, Modern Warfare 2019 and Cold War were pretty good. They felt like the old Call of Duties in terms of like competitiveness and stuff. But I'm not sure what it is. Ever since like the whole microtransaction thing became a thing, it feels like they're just giving us nothing but nostalgia maps instead of original content. Like it feels
Yeah,
like they focus
Nuketown
more
a
on
bit.
the like the microtransactions rather than the player experience at this point. Which I
Yeah, that's
understand.
about
Microtransactions are basically carrying uh, these types of games and stuff. But like in terms of like Vanguard and stuff, I know Don mentioned that he bought it and then refunded it. I don't think a Call of Duty's ever gonna live up to what World at War set in terms of like standards and expectations of a World War II game. I was just gonna chime in on that part.
Yeah, they're not. They lost their vibe. They lost their magic, or whatever you want to call it. They're not the same thing. And to be honest with you, the evolution of Call of Duty is the war zones. That's where you're going to get that
Yeah,
that that old
mainly
thing back.
because battle royales are basically paving the way for game modes like that. I mean,
yeah,
you look at
shooters.
Fortnite,
Yeah,
PUBG. Well, PUBG fell off, but
yeah,
when BRs were starting to come around in terms of like the new stuff, Fortnite, fucking Apex Legends kind of started off slow, but it picked up pace after a while. And then when
yeah.
Oh,
Warzone was introduced with Blackout, that I mean, all of that was you knew that was gonna blow up in terms of like streaming partners and stuff like that.
yeah, they have the legacy. How do you pronounce your name again? I'm sorry.
Okita.
Oh, Kita. Just to let you know, you're on YouTube right now, so you kind of forfeit your remove your voice. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, sure.
Same thing with Cloak, man. Yeah, you already
Yeah,
forfeited about
yeah,
being
I'm
there if you
good.
talk. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
you
So
want
no
to say?
worries, no worries.
to the question of like Game Pass, one of you guys, I think it was Upper, said it was like related to a scheme that you've experienced before. For me, I don't. For Game Pass, obviously, if you spend 120 for the year option or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't do that personally because obviously, you never know what you're going to get or what games or the amount of times, all these delays and everything, this whole gaming industry is going with now. Even like PlayStation, Nintendo games got delayed. For me, I was hyped for Breath of the Wild this year and it got delayed till next year. So, with Game Pass, it's going to look worse because it's like, obviously, you paid 120 for that yearly option, I guess. But I mean, that's why I pay 15 a month because it's like, well, if I'm not getting my money's worth, I'll just cancel it and subscribe when, I feel like there's something good on there. I mean, this year, I think the Gamecast you're saying is like what I played on Game Pass. I played Guardians of the Galaxy and I I think I tried playing some EA games, I believe. I would have to check my list, but now I've played some great games, and also yeah, I played recently Trek to Yome, which is not like the biggest AAA game ever, but honestly I really liked it, and I like Game Pass because it's like I would try things I would never experienced or would have never experienced before if I didn't have Game Pass. So
So,
I
Don,
don't
what
hold on. Wait, because I want to get this out before we close out. So there's one thing I wanted to ask Don, and then I wanted to touch up on this. Don, what did you play for the last year? The most that you played. You don't need to have like a whole list, but what was the most games that you played
This year?
for and it's rolling 12 months?
Well, for a lot of it was Halo Infinite, Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2 was a really good one. I played for a decent bit. Uh, that's pretty. I mean, I'm mostly like a Halo Infinite guy. I play that all the time. I go back to the campaign, and I'm trying to replay it on the hardest difficulty, which is like legendary. So it's kind of the whole thing. So I'm trying to go through that again. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I've been playing. Halo Infinite, especially with multiplayer.
Now I want to say this, and then I'll let upper room kind of finish off everything. I want to say this, right? Um, Cloak, I'm not shitting on Xbox or Game Pass. This is not my MO. It wasn't even supposed to be about
No,
that anyway.
I'm on PC. I was going to talk to you about PC going, PlayStation going to PC.
Okay then. Well, I still want to use this as a disclosure. I mean, when I hear people that say that like game, like I would not want to put my money at any capacity into a service that hasn't gotten their shit together for like 6 years or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like how like to me those games are just not enough. You know, especially since you have predecessors that are better than their offerings that they have now. It's just not enough to me. Absolutely not. There's better Forza. Well, the Forza game is more the same, but a different location. So I wouldn't say DLC because that's a large ass map. But you would expect something to be a little bigger or different. You know what I'm saying? Than just the same game with some locals, different
It's kind of
locals in
funny
terms.
you say that. I was gonna say because I think that's why they're working on fucking Playground Games. That's why they're working on Fable, right? I think that's why it's cool that they're trying
But
something new.
they haven't they
the
haven't.
only
Well, that's the
go
whole
ahead.
thing. They should have made.
Hmm.
They should have hired people that were good at it. Cloak,
I
what
mean,
were you going to say about
sure they
PC?
have.
I was going to say the I saw what was it? It was I think it was like the one of the PlayStation guys. He posted the earnings for however many earnings it, how much ever money it got. Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, and God of War. Horizon Zero Dawn was up at the top, and I said, "You really want to know the reason why?" And I posted in the jumbotron for you, and is that because of the um, one in Horizon Zero Dawn, you play as a female protagonist, so you control a female character. What is the one thing PC guys want to do?
Uh, new new patches, new stuff.
Nude mods. Yep. So I just posted
Reuse
in
photo
Jumbotron.
mode.
There's a picture. I posted a picture of just Nexus mod. If you prove your age on there and you make an account, prove your age, you can click on that and you can actually see all the nude mods for Aloy. I
Oh,
shit you
I
not.
see. I seen Aloy. You know,
I shit you not. Nope. And
Why'd you laugh like that?
I
Bruh.
kid you not. And you can actually there's probably other mods out there for like body sliders and stuff like that, so you can actually make her assets a little bit bigger if you wanted.
Your
Uh,
assets.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. If you wanted it. But that's just the thing with PC modding. Could you now? I'm pretty sure like there's probably gonna be someone out there be like, hey, couldn't you just do that in Days Gone? Could you do that in God of War? Be like, yeah, you could, but at the same time, it's not really open world. Those are more semi-open world, from what I understand.
Hmm.
oh no! Why did you block me or something?
Should no, I didn't. No.
How come I can't read this shit?
Uh, I don't know why.
Well, I'm
Maybe.
screenshotting it.
Okay.
Is there like a siren going off in the back, or?
No,
Uh,
I'm getting off work.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But
yeah, I'm gonna screenshot this shit and then retweet it. I guess it's the tweet
It's the
that must have.
I have to flag as nudity.
Yeah, but somebody
hmm.
reported it or something.
I
stupid
don't know
asses.
why.
Anyway, they're so dumb because Aloy busting it open.
I can
Yeah.
actually DM you at the picture.
I screenshot it. I'm gonna redo it.
Yeah, I can actually give I can't give you the link because you won't see the nude mods. But what if you do go to the Nexus? If you do go to the Nexus, and then make an account, prove your age and everything, and then go to Horizon Zero Dawn, you can look at all the nude mods for yourself.
I'm
That's
gonna
why it's
say
going
this.
crazy on PC. That's
I'm
why.
gonna say this though, like it's. I mean, it was the first game that really was a big thing. I think that's what really does it, and then anything else is supplemental. Secondly, when it comes to PlayStation 5 games or PlayStation games on the PC, I think there's a cap to it. I still stick firmly to, you can PC people play certain games. Period. There's certain games that they play. You know what I'm
Kind of,
saying?
sorta, kind of,
The
sorta.
rest of that shit is like novelties.
Kind of, sorta. It's going by the stereotype. So the type of gamer guy, the type of PC gamer that you're probably thinking of, is probably like some sort of 300-pound man sitting in front of his desk playing World of Warcraft, screaming at these little kids,
Oh
or
no no
something
no
along,
no no
or
no
like,
no!
or League of Legends.
I'm looking at the numbers.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
They have like
Call
a
of
Mountain
Duty and
Dew.
all the other Call of Duty and all the other numbers, the console versions always sell better than the PC ones.
Yes.
There's certain
I,
games that don't though.
yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right.
I guarantee you right now that if Call of Duty was released to PC, it would not even come close to CS:GO. I kid you not, and
It
CS:GO
it
looks like a PlayStation
it,
2 game.
it won't.
Yeah.
It won't. There's certain vibes to PC things. I think every platform has their own users. You know what I mean? Point
Right.
blank.
I mean, you look
Hmm.
at
Upper
games like
room
Diablo. They'll do always do better in PC. You know what I mean? Or
because
even
it's fits the platform. It's the controls that makes
right.
people play it a certain way. Upper room. What you had to say about all this before we close out?
Yo, hey, before we close out, I just want to say one thing though, right? And it's about the greatest value in gaming, right? And I think the greatest value in gaming is actually being the smartest consumer possible. Check this shit out, right? This applies to both consoles. And me, I'm a bad consumer. Once again, don't be like me. I buy shit because I have like FOMO. I smoke a lot of weed. That shit's very expensive. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like me. But what you could do if you really wanted the best value in gaming is don't subscribe to these fucking subscription services. Cause like the third parties, these hit third parties, like these triple A's, Elden Rings, shit like that. These shits ain't coming to your subscription service day one. You know what I'm saying? And you're probably going to end up buying those. So what you do is this. Hear me out. You buy these third parties throughout the year, right? And then you pick a month or two of the year, and then you subscribe to the service of your choice, right? By that couple months, your platform of your choice, PlayStation or Xbox, will have dropped all their games. You play them all for fucking 2 months. You beat them bitches, and then you unsubscribe. So for Xbox, you pay $30 for the year to play all their first party titles, all these indie games for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But then like the games you actually want, you want because we've been doing this all our life. You just buy them shits throughout the year. And keep in mind this shit uh before the phrase what do they call it on day and date, before the whole day and date shit came to be, right? The common smarts was don't buy a game day one because it sucks day one, and they're going to patch it and they're going to fix it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be better later on. So what I'm saying is like, dog, you don't need a game day and date because it sucks day one, right? They told you wait for reviews, nigga. Why do you want the game day one? You know what I'm saying? Like you've never wanted the game day one. They always told you you don't want that shit day one, right? So it's actually better to wait for a couple months. Let's say the summer, if it's for the kids, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are in school all fucking school season. You know what I'm saying? Summer, Game Pass the summer. They'll get every fucking PlayStation Plus or Premium or Game Pass game that came out that year in the service for that summer, that time off. You know what I'm saying? Your vacation time and shit. You spend 15 $30 instead of 180. You get to play all these day ones in this time when they're good, you know what I'm saying? On your time, not the company's time, right? And then the AAAs that weren't coming to the service anyway, you buy these. And think about how much money you actually save if you did it that way, rather than subscribing to a service when you don't fucking need it. And that's the kicker of these services, that like most of us as consumers don't toggle the service and turn it off when we don't need it and turn it back on. You know what I'm saying? That's how they fucking get us. The smartest consumer, and I wish I could do this shit, but once again, I ain't shit. I'm
Yeah,
trying
I'm a
y'all
sloppy consumer.
yeah, y'all be better. Let everybody be better than me. You know what I'm saying? This is the smartest consumer out there. Subscribes
Right.
to this shit over the summer and then lets that shit, cancels and then buys the third party AAAs that aren't coming to this service anyway, that you're gonna play anyway. The 2K, the Madden, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That shit, you know what I'm saying, that you get every year and shit like that. The Elden Rings, the whatever's Resident Evil that's not coming to the service. And when it comes to if it comes to the service, it might be a year later. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh fuck, missed out on that. But that's how it happens in Game Pass anyway. Like, oh, this Dual Pass game came to Game Pass. It was a third party. I bought it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this game came to PlayStation service a year later. Well, I already bought that too, because we buy the dopest shit already. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah, I mean,
I want to say this, right? Go on, please.
oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's Game Pass is only an option. I mean, if you want to buy your games, I buy my games from time to time. With Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming out this year, and even though it's probably gonna be in Game Pass next year summer, I'm just gonna get it because I want to play it day one, obviously, and have a good time with it. But I think it's nice at Xbox because before I noticed you weren't able to unsubscribe or cancel your subscription or turn off recurring billing on the actual Xbox console. You had to do that on the
No,
website,
they
and
made it
yeah,
very hard for you to do it, and it
and
was some sort of
yeah,
law that was passed for PlayStation, any of
and
them.
now it's nice because it's like you can actually do that on the Xbox console now. You could turn off recurring billing. You could cancel it on the Xbox console. I think that's really a really nice feature that they've brought to Game Pass, and I think a lot of more people are going to notice it and be like, "Oh, shit, let me turn off recurring billing or whatever, just in case they don't want
So
to be
say
charged more."
so Game Pass, it works if you have really great games. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, if the product is not good, I don't know if you guys seen Breaking Bad,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's like it's like selling drugs, man. If the product is not
no,
good,
yeah,
it's not gonna it ain't gonna last. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's why Game Pass.
The only reason why like it is as much, it's the market is being flooded because that was one of the only subscription services for gaming and was nothing to really contest it.
Hey,
And yeah,
hey, wait, real quick though. I mean, keep in mind, like back in like 2019, when Phil Spencer and shit was like, dog, the plan is to get a AAA game in the service every quarter, right? And listen, the wording with this shit is very, very, very fucking specific, and I need you to understand why, right? It is because if every 3 months a AAA game comes out, right? That's how long a quarter is in a year. Am I
Yep.
right about that? I've been drinking
hmm
tonight. Okay. If every 3 months a game comes out, right? Like, then you're less likely to cancel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
cancel and then
that was the
resubscribe,
plan.
cancel,
That was
resubscribe,
the
right? But
I
that
mean,
that was the plan, right? And it
right.
sounds good. And now we're subscribed to Game Pass and like these services, like that's what's happening. But it's not actually fucking happening, right? But yet we're subscribed like continuously without that plan happening. That plan is very specific because if it works that way, you don't cancel and do what I'm talking about, right?
There's
As a
no
smart
problem. It's
consumer.
no problem for if they want to have that model. There's no problem, but they
No,
just
no,
don't.
no,
They don't.
no, no, no. What I'm saying is, if they have that model, right? Like, what I'm saying is, like, nigga, cancel, then subscribe in the summer, right? Well, if they're actually dropping some shit every 3 months, it's like, well, I can understand why it's harder to do it that way, right? But with the current model of like, well, you might get shit at the end of the year.
Yeah, they definitely need to improve on that. This year, obviously, the delays really hurt them, but I think that's why
I'm.
they need to make more third-party deals
I'm
with.
not even talking. And I'm not
Yeah,
even talking about Starfield. I haven't even mentioned that game or Redfall at all. I'm talking about
right. Yeah,
before the delays. They need help with that one.
yeah,
Hey
that.
Don, I want to ask you this, yo. Are
Yep.
you are you going to be available on Saturday?
Yeah,
What time?
So usually I do a podcast around. Are you on the East Coast?
I
Yes.
am.
Okay, I usually do a podcast at 7. And my whole objective was to have like a decent conversation, not anything that to shit on anybody. But I like having these conversations. The business aspect of things are interesting, and I wanted to invite you on the podcast I will have on Saturday at 7.
I mean, I'll be down for this. Is it on a space call thing like this, or is it like?
It's a space. Yep.
Oh, okay. I will have to see. I'm not sure if I'll be busy at that time, so I'll just message you or
I can
I
make
just
it.
to
follow.
make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, or you, Cloak. Yeah, both of you. Um,
Right. Yeah, I'll be down for that for sure. Yeah.
I
I'd like to
follow both
discuss
of you.
them. Yeah.
I follow both of you, and this is never to shit on anybody because I don't really care what anybody does
Hmm.
with their shit. I just kind of like to know the inner workings and shit of how, because that's the only way you learn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you keep yourself in your own bubble, you become hard headed and you're closed minded at that point in time. Not to
Yeah,
say that I'm on a high
I
horse or anything like that, but I like to understand the other side of things.
yeah I recently got a 3090 Ti. It should be here on Thursday or Friday, I think. But I won't be playing Horizon Zero Dawn with it. I got to do some stuff in Skyrim first.
Yeah, so you say. Don't let me
Uh
find
huh.
you on. Don't let me
Start
find you on
using
Steam.
mods.
Don't let me find him on Steam. I'm gonna see his ass playing that shit
I'll
in
be
the middle of
playing.
the night.
I'll be playing Skyrim. I'm trying to actually make Skyrim look like Horizon Zero Dawn, and it is
That's
it's pretty.
interesting. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
There's a lot of mods that you can get within Skyrim to actually make it like a completely different game. I shit you not.
Right.
Hey,
No,
I,
I've seen that.
I'm sorry. Real quick, last thing before we go. I know you're trying to get out of here and you've been trying to close this shit out. But last thing, and I don't know if any of y'all have seen this. Did y'all see that video? Like some like super fan that like modeled some shit in Unreal 5 after Starfield. Have you seen that video yet?
I did, yes.
Okay. Now, my question is this. If Starfield comes out and it don't look that good,
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you,
one
you
one
know what I'm
problem.
saying? Like, ugh.
Yeah,
we're just
you're
gonna have
not
to see.
wrong.
Yeah,
You're
three
not wrong
weeks.
because that was made in Unreal Engine 5 and Starfield.
One person, one person
Yeah,
made
there's
Yep.
no
this shit. And I
excuse.
know it
There's
wasn't
no
a whole
excuse.
game and everything like that. It's basically like backgrounds and shit like that. But goddamn, that's one person over not that long of a time. And like, if Bethesda can't like make that shit like, and hear me out, I bought a Series X for Starfield, so like I'm expecting the goddamn world out of this, you know.
Yep.
Mm.
So like I'm expecting more than that. Should I be or should I not be?
Well, it's Bethesda, man. I
Should
mean,
be.
it's
I'll just.
Bethesda. You get what you get.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to
you
mean,
see
should
what
be. You should
my.
be. Would it look better? Would it look around that? Probably not.
y'all,
Realistically, no.
but let's keep in mind that like I don't know if y'all remember this. Last thing. A little bit of Xbox slander before I cut up out of here before you close this shit out. The prevailing the prevailing words before a Xbox presentation are temper your expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, we better calm the fuck down and not get too hyped because they're never going to deliver anywhere near what we would actually like them to. What they
Depends
should.
what your expectations are. For me, I think, for me, I don't think Starfield needs to be the most visually, intensive game ever.
Oh,
I just want the gameplay to be good
God
for me.
damn
see.
it,
But the
That's what
graphics,
that's the bullshit.
let me put
That's
it
how
in
they.
standard.
That's how. No, 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 no. That's how they get you.
Yeah,
This is why this is how they are creating the things that they're creating because your expectations are too damn low. I'm not expecting the heavens, but shit, you're like, oh
no,
well.
no, mine's aren't like like for me. It doesn't. The game doesn't have to look like visually intensive. For me, what needs to be important is the space travel. I want to freaking
I
travel
don't
in
think,
space, do
bro. I
shit,
don't think you
and go
get
to
no
different
fucking.
planets. For me, that's my expectation.
You're not gonna
So,
get Star Citizen shit. You're not gonna
I
get.
mean, I don't know. You never know. I mean,
You're not.
I
You're not.
I don't know. I mean, we
You want
don't
to bet
know,
money?
but that's my.
You want to bet money on it?
I don't really think that's really
$100.
necessary.
That's how serious I am that you won't get it.
No, that's a little much, man. Look, for me, I don't really care if they
And you
have
should.
it.
I get it, but you should.
Mm.
But you should care. But the thing is, the brainwashing that goes on, right? The media keeps pumping it and saying that. You know what I'm saying? That you should
I mean, for me, the
not
graphics need to
care.
be
No, I
a
get it. But
certain
the media is
standard. But
saying
yeah,
that you should love Game Pass and whatever comes in it because it's only $15. Just like the media
I can
keeps
tell you right
shitting.
now. I can tell you right now
yes.
that Starfield is going to be the Bethesda version of No Man's Sky.
I don't even think it's going to be that. I think
That's
it's going to
what I
be.
was thinking. But
I think it's going to
yeah.
be. This is what I think it's going to be. And mark my words, it's going to be fucking Mass Effect Andromeda. That's about
Where
as.
you like
That's
click
about
on the planet and
Mm.
yo,
just go there. For me, it's
as
more
far
space
as you get.
travel.
Game Pass.
I don't think so.
Have you seen this fan made Unreal 5 shit yet?
I will check it out.
Hey, do
I
me a
will check
favor.
it out.
Do me a favor. Like, because I kind of want to gamble on Starfield, right? So I'm actually betting that the Starfield graphics are going to look at least that good or better. And if you want to take this bet after you look at this shit, DM me and just say
Yo, you
we're
ain't
on.
no.
Hey,
Ain't gonna look like that shit, yo. You out of
He's
your
gonna be.
fucking mind.
He's gonna zoom in 1,000 times. Like, no, actually, the game doesn't look
No,
as
no,
good.
no, no, no. I'm gonna tell you right now what you
I'm,
will
I'm
expect. This is what you.
coming up
This
with
is
these
what you're gonna
goddamn
get.
Twitter bets.
This is what you're going to get, right? This is what you're going to get. And again, you're going to get Mass Effect Andromeda. That's about as far as you get. The different planets is going to be another level that loads with different assets. You're not
Hey,
going to be flying through space. That's not going to be it.
What do you mean, man? I
no,
want to be Han
but
Solo
what I'm
over
saying
there.
is, look at this fan made shit, right? In
Yeah.
Unreal 5, right? And then if you want to take this bet and like,
That's Unreal 5, though. I'm not saying that it's not possible. It's just that they're not doing it.
okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I bought an
I don't know.
Xbox for this shit because I have.
Well, you wasted your money. So,
I probably did though, but like, nigga, I'll waste $50 more because if I'm right, like, I'll be happy. But
no,
if I'm
we can
wrong,
bet on that. I'm
Yeah.
a D after after I take my little nap and shit like that. No, we're look because
after you check that,
I'm
shit out, just DM me if you want to take this bet. You know what I'm
yeah
saying?
By the way,
I'm a
I'll be
eat a
on Bethesda.
I'm gonna eat pizza and
I
like
want to see how this
fucking
goes.
a fucking pint of fucking ice cream, man. I'm gonna be knocked the fuck out.
Bro.
it is my goal to. It is
Hey,
my
you
goal.
already got me for 500. You know what I'm saying? What's 50 to you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not a
come on,
damn thing.
it's not.
Shit. I paid more on my dinner at Uber Eats.
Oh wow. It is my goal to try to convince at least one Xbox guy to go to PC or at least buy a PC.
Convince me.
I
I'm,
will
I don't.
convince you.
I don't play on PC, but I. No, for me, I
No,
want to be
oh
as
no,
much as
this is what yo. If you could
yeah.
come on the show on Saturday, this Saturday
Well,
coming up, man. Well, we're
I
gonna
will.
have a. If you can bring some Xbox, I want to speak to them. And I don't. Again, I'm not volatile and shit like that. I just want to have it. Look. Come here real
A
quick.
discussion.
Let me holler at you real quick
Yeah.
with a brick in
Uh
my hand.
huh. Yep.
Okay.
I have all four consoles. I actually have two Switches. a PC, an Xbox Series X, and a PS5. Like the only thing that I could actually justify on purchasing as a console will be the PS5 because that's where you play the PlayStation games first, and that's the only place you can. So that makes a justifiable purchase. Are they coming to PC? Probably, maybe. Some did, but at the same time,
It ain't
not
guaranteed.
not
I mean,
necessarily guaranteed.
Cluck, do you think that people who are looking for a certain price range are just like, well, I could get a console and for $500 and play,
That's a great
these things on
question.
Game Pass?
I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you
Yeah.
asked that. Let me go out. I have to go outside so I don't wake up people. So I'm
Oh
glad
God.
that you asked that.
So like,
I'm glad
yelling
that
at me.
Oh, hi.
yeah. No. There's people sleeping here, but I'm glad that you asked that.
Hmm.
So ever heard the phrase "time is money"? So
Yes.
therefore, the how much money are you going to spend to how much money or to how much time are you going to wait or how much time are you going to spend? So when you spend the $500 and you know that we're in a pandemic. So the thing is, and with every console generation that we have been in, it takes a little bit of time to actually get the good games out. I do not know a console generation to where it actually had the best games to come out. Maybe 360 PS3, but at the same time, it took a little bit long. It took a little bit longer to get the good games to come out. If someone
The
can
only
actually
one,
correct
the
me on
only
the
one
money,
I could, the only one I could think of is not really a console. It was a handheld, which was the PSP.
PSP. But yes, the PSP was actually one of the most moddable. I think it was like the first one that came out was the most moddable one, or the most hacked one. So yes, the PSP did actually have some good games, but at the same time, some of the games were kind of like hit or miss. Um, Specifically Ghost Rider, if I remember that one correctly. But it so does it so the price to the console does a $500 justify for you to wait 2 to 3 years for the next gen features and the next gen games?
For
Well,
me,
Depends.
this is a Moore's Law
it's
conversation, though.
mm,
This is a Moore's Law conversation, though, Cloak, because, like,
Nope,
yeah.
nope, 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 nope. I gotta sleep.
Okay, my
I
bad.
know.
Hey, we're gonna come back to this.
right.
Hey,
I want to put a pin in this shit. I'm so
yeah.
tired.
Put a
I've been
Oh, okay,
yawning.
that's fine. That's
pin.
fine.
I'll
That's fine.
put
That's fine. That's fine. I
It's
just
getting
got off
phone.
work.
super
I'll
early
be up
there.
till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, I will put notes in my phone, and we're gonna put a pin in this conversation because this is very.
Yo,
And you're making up PC bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We don't.
Chloe,
Okay.
listen. I hope
Yeah,
you're gonna be here on Saturday at 7, man.
yeah, I will be. I'll
It'll
be here.
be because then we don't have to talk about anything specific. You can just fanboy out.
Oh no, no, I'm not fanboying. I'm just more like time. Time is money, so like, why
No,
not spend 3 grand?
I've been saying this too in terms of time is money because again,
Yeah.
let's say you have a subscription service. Your subscription service, every developer needs to get paid whatever budget they get
Hmm.
paid, right? The remain in existence.
Yeah.
And if people are spending their time on one thing, then that means that other people aren't getting paid that time currency. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's things on Netflix that gets canceled because no one's watching it, even though they have the money to pay for that. The budget. The budget
Hmm.
takes care of that. So either way,
Even
guys.
Well,
but at the same time, man, and I'll let you go
yeah.
after this. But even at the same time, man, on Netflix, I used to watch the what was it, the Dark Crystal Age of Rebellion or Age of Resistance, I think it was, and I love that show. I love the Dark Crystal. I love what they used to do, but then they canceled it after the first season, even though that it actually made Netflix money. They still canceled it. I don't know why.
Yeah, but
I used to watch Big Mouth.
yeah,
Yeah.
It
I
was
Big
what a
Mouth is
shitty show.
hilarious, yo. No,
Cluck
they got a new season
But
out.
I, but
Cluck
they
to
but
answer your
they
question though, real
they
quick.
can't really do it anymore because of the political climate.
Yeah.
What were you saying again?
I was gonna say to Cluck to answer his question of like, it was worth it for me to spend 500 on the Series X. For me, the Game Pass justified it for me, and Halo Infinite, I enjoyed it, and Forza
But
too.
you
So
can have Game
that's
Pass on
I mean,
PC, dude.
yeah, I know, but it's 500 versus, well, for the same specs for the PC, it would probably be, I don't know exactly how much it would be now, but
About 2 grand, two grand with the pandemic premium is what I call it.
He's
So
20
uh,
years.
I'd
yeah,
rather spend.
He's 20
They're
years old, man. He's 20 years old, man.
they're different
You know.
markets,
I'm
Like
20. I'll be
PC and
29.
console. I just like the
I know,
simplicity
but
of it with consoles.
it's
So,
different. That's what
I
we
get it.
that's
but
that's
I
what
get
we
it.
hear. I mean, he was like, man, I don't want to take that bet. That $100 bet, man. If he can't do $100 bet, man, he ain't
No,
doing no $2,000 PC,
it's
yo.
just because I don't really see the point of it. You know, I'm not like trying to lose money just in case, but I'm still
But
confident
you
in what
have,
I'm
yo,
gonna
you
do.
have that. Well, if you confident, yo, put that money down, yo. You get a smooth $100,
No,
cash
bro.
app and everything.
And
What's
do you know how
wrong?
much?
You don't got no faith, do you?
Do you know how much
I
money
have
that
faith
3090 Ti was? Do you know how much money that was? $2,200
Yeah, by itself, and then you have to
by
put a
itself.
motherboard and shit. Yeah,
That's a
if
PC alone.
if you about it, then you have a problem.
No, I
But yeah,
don't have a problem with it. I
I
do
ain't talking
not.
about you. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about young buck here.
Oh no. Like you, the thing is with like if you want to like play like the next gen games, you just need like a 1080, like a 1080, a Nvidia GeForce 1080, or even like a tiny like 20 or like a 2060 if they
So
even make it a
how much
2050 for
would that
RTX.
cost?
How much would that cost?
Yeah.
The depending on the if brand new, probably that graphics card alone would be around $300 to $400, maybe 450.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like the simplicity of the console. That's why I
I
get it.
get
Like
the
the same.
simplicity. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. But at the same time, you should not complain. I see it. I know you don't for sure. I know for a fact you don't. But I do know a lot of console players. They say, "Where's my next gen features? Why am I not getting my next gen games right now? It's been
And have
two
a cheap
years."
ass fucking console. Like, what the fuck you think that's gonna do?
You talking about the Series S?
No,
Yeah,
any of
no.
them. Those are
The Series
any
X,
consoles.
Series X, Series S. But at the same time, why not just?
Hmm.
You don't have to get a gaming PC. You don't need to like get a gaming rig per se. You can actually spend another. You can actually save up another $500, maybe even a little bit more, to get a gaming laptop. Yes, it'll run like a jet engine, but at the
Yeah,
same
my
time,
brother
you can play
has.
next gen. You can play next gen games at 1440p, but don't go for a 4K laptop. Oh God, no.
Hey,
No, yeah.
he's a side chick. Y'all are wrong about all of this, and we'll continue. I'll continue this slander of PCs later. But like, y'all are like way too.
But upper nude mods, all the nude
No,
mods.
man, I got X videos for that shit, man. I don't need to see no polygons. And
For me,
besides, those fucking news shits is a little bit too vanilla for me anyway.
Yeah,
So,
like the
like
whole thing with like PC and consoles is like PC and consoles are both doing great. Consoles are selling, Xbox is selling, PlayStations are selling, Nintendos are selling. Every they're finding their own success in their own ways, and I think
Yeah,
Xbox's whole thing with the console market is just the simplicity for the casuals or maybe some hardcores like me who just prefer having the box, I guess, and just playing it
no,
on there or whatever.
yeah,
But
you want to get converted to something? We're gonna get converted some way.
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna stick
Hey,
with
yo,
Xbox at the end of the day. You
it's
can
gonna
start
be like
upgrading to
one of those
consoles.
gay coworkers that keep hitting on you. He'd be like, I thought you would have tried it.
oh God, no.
Bro, that was why is it so specific?
I
I would
had
say
one.
more like, yeah, I would
Yeah.
say more like
Yeah,
consoles are like the laptop.
no,
Consoles are like the laptop.
I had this fucking coworker that kept trying.
Oh god, bro.
He was like, "Oh, you're speaking to me. That must mean you want to try it." I was like, "No,
Bro,
I
Jesus
don't want to
Christ.
try it. I don't want to try it at all."
Almost traumatized you, man.
I did, yo. Because I ordered
Yeah.
pizza, right?
Yeah.
This guy name was Chris. He don't work there anymore.
Yeah.
But I was like, we did like this whole big thing for my job. It was courtesy of me, man. I had the top sales and shit.
All right.
And we won like a little pizza party. So he was like, Josh, go ahead and ask everybody what kind of pizza they want. So I was like, all right. So I asked everybody. Everybody's like pepperoni or sausage or plain or vegan or whatever. So I go to Chris and
Yeah.
I'm like, I took a deep breath because I already knew the answer. I said, hey, Chris, I was like, Jay wants to know what kind of pizza you want. He was like, oh, I want the meat lovers. I was like, okay, of course.
Bro, I'm sorry, but the
Of
way he
course,
says that you just said
he,
it like I'm with the meat
Yep.
lovers, of course.
he was like, I want
Hmm.
the meat lovers. So I was like, of course, you're right. Yep.
Of course.
Extra sausage.
hey,
Yeah.
was he a cool ass coworker though?
No, he used to be on drugs and shit like that, man. Like he was in like was taking some drug, man. And he fell and bashed his fucking teeth and knocked almost all of them the fuck out.
Oh,
So he had no teeth
Oh,
when he came
jeez.
back to work or whatever the case is. But like every time I would say something, he would always hit on me like all the fucking time, man.
I, and
Yeah.
I think y'all have maybe I don't know, maybe I just have a really good experience, but like
See, that's the words that that's the words that he used. He was like, "It's gonna be a good experience."
no, like all my gay friends just have like always used to have like a bunch of just cute ass female
Oh,
friends. You know what I'm saying? So it's
yeah.
like, yeah, nigga, of course, this is fantastic.
It's
You know what
just
I'm
a fad, bro.
saying?
They're only doing this to get close
That's
to the
like
girls and the sleepovers.
shit. I should have did that shit too.
That would have been me. Look, guys, let's play kissing
But
game.
I
All of
look,
us.
I look too hardened to be gay. So
Oh
I should
man, yeah.
straighten my hair out and just put like a bang and shit like that.
Jesus.
Hey, look,
But
I'm just
like,
saying.
oh my
Yeah.
god, one of your titties is like sideways. Let me touch it.
God.
Bro,
Yo, I'd be like,
play spin the
it'd be like,
bottle.
yo, it'd be like that Michael Jackson video. You remember Thriller when he turned around at the camera and started laughing? Yeah, I'm
Oh.
like, I'm like, let's
Yeah.
go. Turn around the curve, like,
Right. Your impression was on
God.
point.
I don't know, man. I think y'all. I think. Listen, I'm. I might be.
Uh,
Excuse me. I'm a little older than y'all, but
yep.
I've been in this game. I was in this game for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And like the value of a wingman is very important, right? And hear
I
me out.
tell people that.
Uh, uh, listen, like I, this is the thing that always confused me, right? Because like I'm down south, Bible Belt, right? You know what I'm saying? Like religious people, shit, Baptists, black people, and shit like that. Motherfuckers don't like gay people and everything. Like this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like traditionally, which is fucking stupid, right? Because like me, especially, it's like, dog, this gay dude, he's got a bunch of cute ass like women friends, right? And then perfect fucking wingman. Cause guess what? Like we go over there, if we go over to these chicks, like he's not trying to fuck any of them. He's trying to help me fuck all of them. You know what I'm saying? It's
And no, see, the thing is, that's not
insane.
how these
I don't
gay
know how
people were
y'all
with me.
like. It's just like
That's not how it was for me, man. They will bring their boyfriends over.
I mean, but if you're just like, hey, nah, man, but you home girl, and you know what I'm saying, like,
Nope.
hear me out. Hear me out, real quick, right? So you know how you like women, right?
I'm listening. Yes.
Okay, so you look at a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
she might not want nothing to do with you, and you're looking at her like longingly. She might be married or whatever because you just see her in the grocery store.
She'll look. If she don't like me, that's the rap. I'm not. That's it for that.
All
I
right,
ain't gonna
but
keep
then,
bugging you.
like I mean, but like
Yeah.
you might shoot your shot, right? If you're brave, right? You might shoot your shot.
Yeah, you shoot your shot. Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. Like I think everybody does the same thing, but some people get bent out of shape. Some people shoot their shot at them, right? Now, let's say you shoot your shot at a woman and she's like, hey, fuck you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Then you're like, wow, that was kind
That's a little masculine. Okay.
of. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying, right? When somebody gets super bent out of shape, when you're just like trying to like say, hey, you want to go out for some coffee or something, and she's like, ah, yeah, nigga, and kicks you in the nuts, right?
I
Like
mean,
if because if
Hmm.
you find
A little
somebody attractive,
aggressive.
you
you're
may
right. Yeah.
it may be a little aggressive, but this is what I'm saying. If you find somebody attractive, you may shoot your shot. So if a nigga finds you attractive and he shoots your shot, like that's what he
Yeah,
did.
but I don't look feminine though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Nigga,
like that's like a girl that don't
like
shave her
women
legs. Oh,
don't look.
wait. There's a girl that she shaves the size of her head. She has her hairy ass legs.
Listen, women
She,
don't
you
look.
know, she's doing that. She's doing that bob and shit like that. That walk, right? I
Listen,
wouldn't be shooting my shot at that type of woman because I could safely assume
nigga, look.
with a high accuracy that she's probably not
Can I ask
into
you
men.
okay, wait a minute. Can I ask you an honest fucking question, right? Real quick.
Man, you said real quick all the time. You be giving these disclosures and shit like that, painting all these big ass stories. Just say what did you guys say at the end?
I mean, yeah.
Real quick question though. This is real shit, yo. Like you have, are you telling me that you have never honestly shot your shot at a woman that you knew was taken at the moment? Ain't never
No,
done that shit.
no, I
Really?
don't do that shit. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want that karma.
No, you. I mean, I know you don't do
Mm-mm.
it now. You ain't never
No,
done.
I haven't. I have never done it.
Oh
Never.
fuck, you're a good guy, but like everybody don't operate.
Now, I was asked when I would go to beaches and shit like that. They were like, and this is a true story, and I close out this. That I always close out my shows on some fucked up shit. So I went to a beach and shit like that, right? And I usually go to the beach by myself, because no one likes to go to the beach because everybody is so subconscious about their bodies. I take good care of myself, but I do like the beach in general. So I'm walking, right. I got my little 6-pack of pecs and shit. Now I'm just doing my own thing, right? Like today is my cheat day. You fucking up my cheat day, man. Now I gotta stuff all this fucking food down my gullet. I've been past the fucking time of eating. Anyway, I'm sitting there walking around or whatever, right? And I was approached by this guy, this older gentleman, this white dude. He was like, "Are you from here?" I'm like, "No, I'm from New Jersey." And this is in Florida. He's like, "Oh, you could tell you don't really have that Florida glow." I was like, "What Florida glow?" You know. So he was like, "Oh, well, just a quick question. I wanted to ask you something. You look friendly enough. Have you ever heard of cucking?" I was like,
Well, that was the. Never mind.
God.
That wasn't really a gay pass. He wanted you to fuck his wife, though.
"Yes, I know this.
Mm.
Oh
We were talking
no.
about we were talking about shooting your shot." So he I'm sorry, talking to somebody that's hold on, wait. It was talking about somebody that's in a relationship that you already knew. So he was like, I say, well, what do you get out of this? I really kind of asked him that. What do you get out of shit like this? He was like, well, I just want to kind of live vicariously. You see what you're doing. I was like, don't you have porno or some shit? Why you need me to do this shit? You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, my wife was pretty hot. You may want to reconsider. So
Did you look at her? Was she?
yeah,
That's
she was
my
she
question.
was
She
she was
was.
hot. Yeah, she was.
All right, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Leave it right there, yo. I ain't saying nothing else. Our imagination go take whatever. I didn't ask nobody. Let's put it that way. You can't judge me. I didn't ask nobody
Yeah.
shit. I was minding my own business, frolicking on the beach. I had nothing to do with it.
Hey, life
Don't judge me.
fast, yo.
Just
Sometimes you
happened.
gotta.
Already, it's quiet as shit in there. And I hear judgment. I didn't do it. I didn't ask for this. That's all I'm saying. I didn't ask for any of this. So
It's all good, bro.
It is
anyway, yeah.
12:05.
Yeah, we can if you guys are down for the podcast on Saturday, we're gonna have like a little fanboy discussion, put it that way.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine with
bro.
me.
Hey,
I'll DM you if I'll be ready by then. But if not, I'll DM you as well.
hey,
Okay, cool.
by Saturday, I'm gonna be a Luna stan, so be ready for that, right?
Oh
Because
shit.
we don't see that in these areas.
Don't be bringing your little what you call them people, what you what the fuck you call it? Wingman. Don't bring your wingman in here, yo. They talking about some balsamic vinaigrettes.
Lunites, right? Because we don't have a name for us.
No, man. You won't bring one of your side.
Play new.
What do you call it? What do you call them again? Wingman. He be
You,
like, ooh, I like. He be like, I want you with balsamic vinaigrette.
listen, I
Oh
guarantee you they'll
gosh.
bring like 5 chicks with them, though. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
like,
never had that. Maybe that's a South Carolina or a North Carolina thing. It didn't work that way with me. I
oh,
promise you.
I guarantee. Listen, you don't have enough friends.